Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
John.
Yes.
We've been doing this podcast for 18 years.
I believe that's right. Our 18th anniversary is coming up.
And I got to say,
yeah,
I am sick of these Hammer films.
It's my first note I wrote. Hammer logo. And by the way, a pretty sweet Hammer logo, actually.
Yeah, very
nice. Really cool. The way all the old Hammer posters then come together to make Hammer.
Over the last, I don't know, 20 years or so, there have been so many faint attempts to resurrect.
There's a guy
Hammer
doing it right now. There's a wealthy dude, or I'm sure it's already folded by the time you're hearing this, but I hope it goes well. But there's a guy who I love a nerd.
Well,
there
still hasn't been a wide release of the newest Hammer film. People have seen it, and the reviews are interesting.
The Dr. Jekyll movie, yeah. That's the first of the because this movie we're talking about here from what is this? Is this 2010? Okay,
yeah, 2010.
We're still in 2010. We're never gonna get out of it. These seasons, I feel like the farther we've gone in time, the more they start putting out. I guess that makes sense. They're just making more movies or something because.
Well, there's that, but I will also say this. I noticed that you, as Mr. Putting the list together, you really did expand focus.
You know what,
though?
You were
like, they just don't make as many Dracula movies anymore, or Frankenstein's monster.
This is true.
So we are now doing just vampire movies and
we used to focus
movies.
on. We also we've talked about this before. There's a bunch of movies we didn't cover because we weren't doing time originally. We were doing studios. So when Universal, so there's a bunch of stuff from the 20s through to the 60s that we haven't talked about that we could do, but we probably won't because I'm not sure there's a ton that we were missing in there. There's a couple of gems.
Yeah, I mean, and there are some that are absolutely terrible that I still kind of wish we had done just because they would
Billy
have been
the Kid
fun
versus Dracula.
I will always bring that up, but the Return of Dracula we didn't do, and that's also from the 50s, and it's terrible. But we would have probably had a fun time talking about it.
You know what? Somebody just wrote in recently, as of this recording, that I got to say I enjoyed a comment on one of our old episodes that just said, "I like when you guys like a movie, but there's nothing like hearing you talk about a terrible movie." So I know that some of our listeners do enjoy when we. That's not going to be the case this week, luckily, but. Every once in a while we watch something that's truly dreadful. Yeah,
and feel the need to shout it from the mountaintops that someone needs to answer.
This is as cautionary a podcast as it is a celebration.
We want to prevent future generations from having to deal.
But as you're saying, Hammer is as a thing, of course, that's why we devoted a season to it. There's an iconography to it. There's a nostalgia for it. So every once in a while, there's something there. There's something of value. So people want. It's the same way. It's not the same amount of money is not involved, but similar to the Universal monsters, right? People go like, "Oh, I love Hammer movies." Why don't they make Hammer movies anymore?
Yeah. And I will say it's weird to do. The one thing is, here's a reason we can't have that. And the reason is
Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee are dead. That's a big.
Well, there's that. But also times have changed and tastes have changed. So what we associate with Hammer, I'm not going on any political thing. It's like that'll get you canceled.
No.
But there was they're of their time. And I love them.
Very much so.
But if you did a pure classic Hammer film today, they would, people would just go, "Well, this is Drek. This is pulpy Drek." And
they kind of said that then too, really. But
and I get it. We can't quite go back to the days of the translucent 90s and the tomato soup blood.
If you go back and listen to our episodes, there's something charming in their attempt to be extreme. Like the idea that they were making the naughty films, and now you go like, that's kind of cute that this was shocking, right? Like to a certain extent.
Well, I mean, I will say that prestige streaming television.
Yes.
I mean, as far as cable shows and so forth, they've gone so far past anything Hammer would have done now.
Yeah.
That you would have to also try to pretend that we're elevating these horror tales.
Well, it's sort of the thing.
If you tried to do it now, because you'd be like, well, you're not, Game of Thrones, so seeing these boobs is not really
it's kind of getting to that place now. I hear people talk about this a lot with special effects in today's world. It's impossible to wow audiences really anymore. I think we're getting to the point now where it's also becoming impossible to shock them too. We were just talking about modern horror movies when you talk about going in wanting to be scared, and it is sort of just like, I don't know what it would we were talking about a movie that's out now. At this time it doesn't really matter, but because once again it was out 6 years ago by the time you're hearing this. But the thing about that is, when I read the reviews of movies where they go like, oh my God, this will have you turning. You were going to be scared to walk to your car. I'm always just like, okay, sure. And then I end up seeing the movie, I just go like, I don't know, I guess it was kind of scary. Like, it's a friend of the show, Elliot Lewis, and I talk about this all the time. When you watch as much horror as we do, you have to intellectualize it and go like, well, okay, if I put myself in, objectively, I think that movie was scary, because we're just like our nerves are frayed. They're gone. We don't feel it anymore.
We're jaded.
Because you do learn the rhythms of horror movies, so it is very hard to really get us. Because I'm just kind of going like, oh yeah, but it's like, I think comedy
I'm always
writers
looking for a concept now, or a character or something, because the film itself is not going to scare me.
It's a movie,
I look for like, where's the twist? Oh, that actually will tie us back into the movie we're talking about.
Nice. Today. All roads lead back to where because I was like, God, we're going to be a half hour before we even get to the movie.
We're talking about 2010's Let Me In.
I think that's how Matt Reeves wants you to say the title. Let me in. Hey, let me in. The terrifying story of a woman who loses the key to her building and is buzzing every door, going, "Let me in, please. It's cold out here." It is cold.
Interestingly, and a real throwback to the source material is one of the people on the buzzer goes, "Are you the right one?"
Nice.
And the woman goes, "Yes."
And everyone in the audience went, he's doing because the other movie.
Because the other movie. Hi.
But the thing I'll just say about this that makes this. In the Hammer context, this movie specifically, this was a period of time where somebody bought the rights to Hammer and isn't trying to do Hammer. This isn't a Hammer movie at all. This is just when they're like, can Hammer just make new horror movies? Because this is also around the time of
The Woman in White.
The Woman in Black is 2 years after
The Woman
this.
in Black. Sorry.
Yeah. They make a couple movies. They made The Resident, which was a thriller with Hillary. They're really not making... The Woman in Black is closer to what I think was a Hammer movie.
I'd say even now, from what I understand of the upcoming Dr. Jekyll, which certainly looks interesting.
Yeah.
But that doesn't feel like they're trying to capture any kind of specific Hammer thing.
It almost feels like they're trying
to be Hammer... they're trying to be horror...
But at least the Dr. Jekyll thing is going back to doing classic horror stuff.
Yeah, doing a twist on
a modern take on, which I do think, we haven't seen that movie. We don't cover Dr. Jekyll movies on here, which I think there was debate early on, but we would be doing this even longer if we included Dr. Jekyll.
Holy mackerel.
But I think the idea of a modern take on that, leaning into trans issues, fits on paper. I could totally see that. I don't know. I'm curious to see it.
You will see it.
I will see it. Yeah. When it comes out here, I will absolutely see that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not have this fight in front of all the people.
But we're talking about Let Me In, which is I had forgotten it was Hammer. When I saw the logo, I've seen this movie a few times, and I always forget it's Hammer because who the fuck cares? Honestly, does it matter at all? A company named Hammer put money into this movie.
Right, exactly. And what brought people to this would have had nothing to do with the fact that their logo's up at the beginning. It's because you have a hot young director. You have...
And he is a smoke show. Have you seen this dude? Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding? I dream about it.
Matt Reeves looks like a guy who we would talk to in a comic book shop. So
Sure, absolutely. God bless.
Yeah.
But they would have gone to this for the fact that he was on his way up and
coming off
and
of Clover. He's got the heat from Cloverfield at this point. This is between that and the Planet of the Apes.
A really breakout young actress.
Interesting though, that happens after he casts her. I was reading the production of this.
Really?
She had made Kick-Ass, but it had not come out
yet. But it hadn't
yet.
come out?
No.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
All right. Well, but he just had certainly a good eye.
Well, yeah. He had talked about that Matthew Vaughn was like, I just worry she's fucking amazing. You've got to use her.
And I'm sure they would have also gone out of the curiosity of, this is a remake of a movie that, not everyone saw because it was a foreign film.
Yeah,
but it certainly got lots of press and lots of praise.
I think it was certainly a title people were aware of, and we talked about that movie definitely brought the book back into resurgence too. I remember seeing that like in Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So certainly something people are aware of, but cynically, but also sadly accurately, I read a thing from the producer. They were talking about like, why would you remake this? That thing was successful. It only came out a couple years ago. That was what they were going like. Why would you make it so quickly? And the guy was like, because who saw it? Was sort of the thing. And that is cynical, but he's not wrong either.
No.
Yeah. It's sort of the thing where it's like this whole idea about like, didn't people just see this? And his argument was like, well, not that many people actually saw it. So when you talk about like, didn't this just come out?
Before we get into plot, I will just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
This is an unnecessary movie. See, now here's the thing. It is good. There is nothing wrong with this movie whatsoever. The only thing wrong with it is its existence. Because I know. I don't find that here. We've talked about this on the show many times before, which is remakes. Why do you do a remake?
Well,
here are the reasons to do a remake. The original didn't do that well. And they had a great concept. So they failed an awesome concept. So you should only do remakes if you're going to improve something or you have a radically different take, which could still end up being a disaster. But at the same time, no one could accuse you of just redoing the original.
Yeah.
This is so close to the original that I find it unnecessary. I think it's good, but we've just watched the original, a couple months ago.
Yeah. Well, we are, because of the nature of the show, we are doing what that person was asking the producer about, which for us,
exactly. That's why I'm saying it now, is that I don't find fault with this movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad at all.
Oh, no.
But to me, this is almost a step away from Gus Van Sant doing Psycho.
Wow,
because it is so close. The changes that are made don't radically restructure or make this a different movie. There's some clever things that he changed. There's some scenes that are slightly stronger. Certainly, this is what I think he brought to it.
Yeah,
Americanization.
Oh, I mean that certainly is what I would say is maybe the other argument for remaking something, and often why you remake foreign movies is the cultural shift, right? I mean, is sort of like,
but really, there's not that much other than, of course, he very smartly, since he decided also not to change the time period.
That was a big
80s.
And that was a big sticking point for Reeves, according to the production, because the studio was like, it's like, no, it's got to be in the 1980s.
Well, because he wanted to bring in Satanic Panic to some degree Reagan, in the background.
He talked about the speech that starts with Reagan. That was his whole this idea of Reagan talking about evil
and
being
because
out
it's
there.
America, to some degree, and again, these changes don't make it so radically different, but they are changes. One is America has this puritanical religious background, so it works its way in. The mom is very religious.
Yep.
That kind of thing, and that is very much like. And they have what's the kid's name in this one?
Owen,
thank you. They have him. The thing about, are there evil? Is evil a thing? Are there evil people?
Right.
So that morality thing, which
and that's
very on the nose,
Reagan.
but that is
well
unique to this.
And that's a thing that I mean, I think you say it's on the nose. That's something I really like about Reeves' work in general. He's a very theme forward filmmaker.
Theme forward is fine. It just depends on how it's delivered, and Reeves is very good, but I did find this less mysterious, less of the vibe, because he made it for American audiences. So gore comes up a little bit. There's a crime investigation cop thing that's kind of American, that's more present in it.
Yeah.
In other words, there are things he changed. I'm not saying the guy went frame for frame. He's trying to capture the mood. He's got the time period. He's doing all this, but he has robbed a little bit of the slice of life coming of age thing. It's there, but it's not the primary thing. And the vampirism in the original is there. I think it's actually more startling in the original because it's still so back, and here it's shoved forward, so we get more CGI and blood spatter.
It's really well employed though when he does it, and he
it's
also
well employed.
I mean, maybe
if I had never seen the original, I would love this movie. I mean, I would just think, wow, what a great vampire take, and I still like it. The only problem is I think the original is still better, and works on a different, much more moody, atmospheric, and
interesting, because I think he
enigmatic. This spells everything out, including the whole thing with the original caretaker guy had been another boy that she entranced and became her familiar.
I realized that I put that on the original movie because of this movie.
So in other words, I don't think that this is a radical take. I also don't think the original was something that failed and needed someone else to come in and go, you know what, I can do this.
And I don't think anyone who made this movie feels that way about it.
I don't think
this
so
is
either.
An interesting
I don't think
story.
This is any kind of.
I think this. I mean, I said I take that producer at their word about it. This is an interesting story that a lot of people didn't experience when it was made this way, and we feel we can make this in a different way that maybe more people see.
That's where the argument is to re-release the original.
Yeah, but
get it in more cinemas.
Unfortunately, it's just a problem of people won't go.
It's like, we don't need
I'm not saying that.
We don't need a bicycle thief. That's you know what? That's a great movie, but you know what? It'd be great if it was set in Idaho and American actors were doing it.
I would argue we didn't need the first bicycle thief. I don't like that movie at all, but that's one of
I like the bicycle thief.
I find it to be one of the most boring movies where nothing happens ever made. But but that's neither here nor there. That was one of the film school movies I fucking hated. But
wow,
yeah.
I can think of. I mean, I'm not a huge Eisenstein fan. I can appreciate the technicalities of that guy, but there's plenty of stuff that people say, "Oh, this is important cinema." I watch and I go, "Ugh." But in the case about,
interesting,
man, it resonates.
That's interesting.
It's a downer from hell, but at the same time, I like it.
Yeah.
But that I was just using it as an example. In other words,
that's
movies that are considered, classics. La Dolce Vita. It's like, do we need to have that?
It depends,
it's like,
right?
American audiences slept on it, so we're going to do a remake with Rock Hudson. You didn't.
That actually could have been interesting, but you had to pick Rock Hudson of all people.
I went like, my point. You're like going, damn, where is that? I'd watch that in a second.
I in general am more open to reinterpretations than you are in some ways.
But no. Okay, in general, yeah.
In general, like the idea of somebody that we talk about a lot with comics and superheroes and stuff like that. I sort of am like, good.
You're saying reinterpretation.
Let me see this person's
isn't
flavor.
a reinterpretation.
That's interesting.
It's an Americanized version of the story, literally beat for beat. I'm sitting there going like, and this is okay. And this is how, all right. In this case, the woman who gets turned and is in the hospital, she'll take a nurse out with her, as opposed to the other where she's just the one that went up in flames.
Rad,
and this, I know, but see, that's it. It's the ratification. It's like more blood, a bit higher body count,
a little
and I
bit,
don't find this movie to be crass like that.
Oh no, because I think one of the big things this movie lucked out in is getting Matt Reeves, because you can absolutely see the Eli Roth version of this movie.
You can,
and
you're
that
absolutely
would be
right.
because I think he like.
But it would have been different. It would have been radically different.
It would have been radically different, but I think it would have been
the original. That you just have American actors replace it, and everyone's good. But I just question, just like that producer, why?
I don't have an answer for that.
When the original exists,
saw this.
But like I said, if I hadn't seen the original, I would be looking for the novel. I'd be like, this is great. I love this take. And I did. It's just so familiar that I sat there going like, and Chloe Moretz, great. Grace Moretz, she's amazing.
They're both real.
That kid is great. Cody yes, Smith and I was so glad to look him up on Letterboxd and see. Oh, you've been in other things. I just didn't recognize you.
He's Nightcrawler.
Yeah, well, for the 5 seconds we have Nightcrawler.
Yeah, he's in two separate movies.
But I mean, it is still
good because Reeves brought him into the Apes movies in the next.
Yes, one. That's great. Him working with him again is really awesome.
Well, Reeves does. I mean, it's like he brought Serkis into Batman. He brought Kerry Russell into. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely a guy who keeps people around.
As well he should, and he's a great filmmaker,
an amazing,
and it is a tribute in a weird way that he does capture a lot of the same emotional beats.
Yeah.
This isn't, I mean, I'm just emphasizing that the original keeps a lot of that stuff in the shadows out in the back without shoving your face in it. Somehow Reeves is able to shove your face in it here and there.
Yes.
And yet still carry you along with the story of these two.
That's
an outsider kid and the mysterious girl that he
definitely Americanized it. Yeah, like I think you're correct in talking about. He just turns up the volume on some stuff. But the whole time I was watching it this time, because this is probably the first time I've ever watched them this close back to back.
Yeah.
Because I saw the original when it came out, and I saw this one when it came out, and I've seen this one a few more times. Which might indicate that my preference leans towards this movie, but
no, I know that. Which I knew my take would be.
And I think because I think we already we had
we go.
Well, I don't think I don't like massively like or let me say I disagree with your take, but I don't think you're like Brendan's out of his fucking mind.
And I'm not dumping on this movie.
No, nor should you.
I just don't think it was necessary.
I think this is the same movie but better in almost every. In my opinion, I think this is infinitely better directed. I think the acting is about
actually.
Equal.
I think it is directed almost hand in hand. Now he does have some amazing.
He does
have some amazing shots in this. And I'm like, there's some Matt Reeves, but
there's some incredible Matt Reeves imagery in this that I thought. Really,
but
I mean,
it's kind of the same.
It's really, I really think his camera's alive, and I will say this what we're doing, looking at the reviews of this, kind of the back and forth of the critics, because there's a lot of critics who agree with me, and there's a lot of critics who agree with you.
I again, no ill will.
No,
it's just, and actually. I'm not a defender of Gus Van Sant's Psycho, but I found it interesting. Just because, in a weird experimental way, it was like, I just want to remake a movie.
The best description I heard of that, I wish I could remember who said it, was Gus Van Sant got a studio to fund a student experiment.
That's exactly
that was a student going, I want to understand Hitchcock, so I'm going to go through, and this is my trying to get into the head of my influence.
I'm not accusing this movie of doing that. It's just...
Oh, no, Lord, no.
Talk about another movie where going like, unnecessary on so many levels.
Well, that one
but
really
at least
was
really was.
Where you're just like, I understand at least the impulse why somebody greenlit this movie. Psycho was truly like...
But there's things like, especially, the first meeting between them at the little bench out in the courtyard of the apartment complex. I'm like going, holy fuck, someone needs to put frames next to each other from the everything's done exactly the same. The only difference is the kid is speaking American and eating now and laters, which I fucking love now and laters. And me being a kid of this era, I love the fact that the running theme of him singing the now and later, jingle. I mean, that's something obviously you wouldn't have seen in the original. And for me as an American kid of the 80s going like, oh yeah, oh that's cool. And when they were in the arcade and he's showing her a video game, I'm like, oh yeah. And the fact that everyone in this movie has the excellent taste to be really into David Bowie's Let's Dance.
All the music choices in this fantastic.
Well, sure, but I also thought they were in the original too.
They're just different
which had
ones.
Some American songs, but also some 80s synth pop.
The movie does do the same thing that the original does that I appreciate, which is making it feel really like the 80s, not people cosplaying as the 80s.
Yes, yeah, they really did.
Drives me insane in movies. Like I said, I think you really lucked out in who this filmmaker was. In that, like I said,
you did.
There may have been more radically different takes, but there's a million versions of this that are a billion times dumber, and that this movie would be remembered as remember when they destroyed that great movie.
Yes.
This is an interesting thing reading Reeves, because I went and read all the stuff I could find on this, and listening to some of what you're talking about was Reeves talked about. He goes, when I set out to do it, I said, I'm going to ignore the original movie and I'm just going to adapt the novel. But he said the more I started to make changes, the more I'm like, okay, am I making bad choices to just leave comparison aside? And so he goes like that. There's a lot of choices the original film made that are right, and he goes, I shouldn't ignore those just because I could do something different. It's like, no, that really was the right way to do that. So
and that kind of self-awareness speaks to how awesome he is.
Oh, guys,
because that is exactly the kind of thinking that needed to happen.
Well, it's the kind of thinking you see again and again in his career, right? Like when he goes into Planet of the Apes, when he goes into Batman, like he does study. He's not just going like, well, I'm gonna fucking do this. It's like, this guy is like, literally, I want to get into what makes this thing tick. That's his whole
right.
He drills deep into this stuff. Who is Batman?
And he's resisting what so many people do, which is I've got to put my stamp on. In other words, I'm smarter than the stuff.
It's very interesting that he and I'm not doing this, and I won't. I promise, just to bag on this dude. But it's so interesting that his childhood best friend was J.J. Abrams, and that they came up together. And it's very interesting because I see the similarities in them. I totally see they have this real love for this stuff.
Yes.
But Reeves is a more naturally gifted filmmaker, I think.
No, that doesn't even need to be said.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was just saying, like it's just interesting to see. I totally see why these guys have been best friends forever, but I also see where they diverge in how they approach stuff.
Yes,
and Abrams would have made a terrible the right one.
It would have made a very bad one.
It would have been. There would have been parts where it's slavishly devoted, and then there would have been a lot of stuff where you would have been like, "What? What?"
There would have been more lens flare.
It would have been a lot flashy.
He has to go there.
Reeves is stylized, but he's never flashy. Which I think is something I really like about his work, and I think one of the reasons I respond. A lot of it is when I'm talking about. I think this movie's better. I just think. While shots are similar, I just think and it maybe even better is a bad word. I prefer lighting choices, coloring choices. There's just little things. I just like living in Reeves' version of this.
It's not as unrelentingly blue.
It's not.
And then
it also has, and I guess we'll get into the plot. I'll get to it, but I was going to say it has what I think is the best car crash ever put on film.
Oh, it's a really good car crash. And that is one of the big scene changes.
Yeah. Well, let's also, I also acknowledge he has more money. That's clear. Like that, because like one of the big things that everybody, the praise for, and that I praise it for as well, people go like, it's more visceral. It's got more action. There's more exciting like thrills in it. It's like, well, some of that is just, he just has more resources in general. It's not even a thing.
Absolutely. The original is an indie film. That was good enough.
It's an indie foreign film. So, like, you're already removed from a studio and from America. So you're like, let me see. Do I have the I want to see what the difference is.
That was so
well done. So that was $4 million, the original movie. This is 20, which is still really small in American studio filmmaking.
It's still really small for an American
5 times the budget.
Yeah.
So
and
I mean, it's,
and it's there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, he's not trying to overwhelm you either.
No.
He's trying to be appropriate to the material.
I mean, the biggest thing is that I would say the biggest thing is something he keeps from the original movie is he keeps the underwater photography of the end of the movie. It's a little expanded here, but a different filmmaker would have gone full bug nuts on showing a vampire fucking flying around.
Yeah, true. He decided to, again, pretty much copy the original, but then add more. Like, the original did have the hand, but I'm going to put in the head.
Which is pretty fucking rad, though.
Which it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But I do want to talk about the poster.
Okay, I'm ready.
Which is minimalist in a different way than the original's poster was minimalist.
Mm-hmm.
And very much like if you take off all the words on this, I would be like, oh, it's a vampire movie.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, the color red.
Yeah, the color red with the stark white image of Chloe Moretz.
Yeah, the thing is that red. It's almost again that the original was taking advantage of the geographic idea of where it takes place, which is what I find interesting is that he decided the whole thing is still snowy. You know, it's still set in the same season, but he decided to set it in Los Alamos, New Mexico.
Really interesting
not
choice.
A place you think of as like the snowy wasteland.
However, as someone who briefly lived in New Mexico,
no, I know it snows there.
That's the thing I like about it, though. It's not your first thought, but it is really snowy there, or it can be.
And so that is an interesting take. But the original really is blue, and not in an obnoxiously blue filtered way.
No,
it's just and it captures that and that stark image, which is the original's poster, which is also on pretty much every version of the novel you find.
Yep. The copy I have of it has that cover.
Yeah, and that is great and suiting of that.
Oh, we praised the hell out of that last time we were
But here we go. All right, vampire movie. This one actually is like going like, yeah, there's going to be some color and you're going to see blood. So we're going to go ahead and put her wrapped up sort of very fetal-like and white in the center of like this dark red bloody background. It's good.
It's good. And the poster, the tagline is "Innocence dies, Abby doesn't."
That's it's a good tagline. I will say that's very American too. It's very like studio.
Yeah, that I was gonna say. It feels like it's kind of pitching a movie this isn't. Yeah. Like it doesn't. It's not completely wrong for this movie, but it's a little wrong for this movie, right? Like I do think it's interesting. We talked about like the idea of they go like, well, a lot of people didn't see the foreign movie, didn't make that much. This movie did okay because it's. Whether it's an indie Swedish movie or a slightly bigger budget American movie, this isn't like mainstream popcorn material.
No, this isn't Lost Boys.
No, it's not. And so it's a thing where it's like, this came out at Halloween here. I immediately ran and saw it because I was already becoming a massive fan of Reeves.
You didn't run. I just wanted to make sure that you were safe.
No, I saw that said it was coming out, and I just left my house and booked it to a theater. No,
I just want to make sure that you were you didn't tax yourself.
This was before. There was a brief period of time. I did not like where I was living, but the best thing for a brief time in like 2015, I lived directly across the street from a movie theater.
Oh wow!
Like it was right there, and that was pretty sweet.
Is that why you saw all the Madagascar films?
I will say it did make it go like, I can go to a movie. You know, like it really did make it just go like,
oh,
it's
I don't
right
know. I haven't
there.
seen that one.
Yeah, and it's always nice to just be like, well, if this gets out at 10, fuck, my house is right there. So, you know.
Wow, Harold and Kumar are back? I've got to go see that one.
I did see. I think I saw 2 of the 3 Harold and Kumars.
Wait, there was a third one?
Yeah, there was a Christmas one.
Oh,
Harold
I just
and Kumar
knew the
Christmas.
Guantanamo Bay.
That was the second
White
one.
Castle.
The White Castle, Guantanamo Bay, and then Harold and Kumar Christmas, which I have never seen. But I did see the first 2. But those were like, I was in college, right? And it was like, we're going to go. We were the target audience. And I still really like both of those guys. Maybe not the movie so much, but I think both of those,
again, I got
those
no
actors
problem
are immensely talented.
In fact, I haven't seen Cal Penn in a while. Is he all right?
He was in that Santa Claus show with Tim Allen. So you tell me if he's all right. Yeah.
Thinking of you, Cal.
Love that guy. Love that guy. He's always great.
He's absolutely great.
And Cho is just a
Cho.
star. Cho is one of our. Cho is our most underutilized leading man. I feel like they've never given him the proper. And a couple times they have, and they haven't taken off. I really like that show he did with Karen Gillan. I thought they were both immensely charming in that. And
that really was the one where I'm like, you guys again slept on what could have become a very, very good show.
I feel like had that been like a Netflix original, it might have. But it being an ABC sitcom, they were too quick to. But talk about 2 fucking charm monsters that those 2 are. Jesus. Anyway, back to this movie, which also has some really, really good actors, including a couple of my absolute favorite actors are in this movie, actually.
Does one of them have the last name of Jenkins?
Oh, it might. And in fact, I was watching this the other day. I was texting my sister. I go, God, Richard Jenkins is so good in this. And she just texts back, you say that about everything. Because he's one of my absolute favorite actors because he is. It doesn't matter the movie. That guy is he is so legitimately good in Step Brothers. He is so fucking good in that movie.
And it's another thing where, and that's a kind of a perfect thing. He's had a long career.
Oh God, yeah. I was watching Blue Steel. You remember the Catherine Bigelow movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, Blue Steel?
Yes.
A cop. I was watching that a while back. Fucking Jenkins just wanders into the movie, this mid-'80s cop movie, and you're just like, fucking Jenkins is in this?
Oh, speaking of, I saw Beverly Hills Cop.
Axel F.
I enjoyed it.
It's really good. It's very fun.
I'm just burning doing the Neutron dance.
It is so fun. So if you're a fan of that, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was
surprised at how much I enjoyed
it.
All right, really but anyway, moving on. Yes, him, and then of course Casey Jones.
Elias Koteas is another of my. I mean,
when he showed up with the hockey stick in this thing, I was like, "What are you doing?"
He said, "You got a vampire to take care of."
That is a crossover I didn't expect.
I near constantly, and I guess maybe this is why I'm single. Quote, "Welcome to Pain 101. I'm your instructor, Casey Jones." But no, I've loved that guy.
You'd pull quotes from that movie.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie. It
says so much.
Because as a kid, that was my jam. I watched that movie so much.
And I will still say
it's great.
Probably the best adaptation that's
certainly live action. Without question.
Good.
It's really good, and he was great. I just love that guy as a kid and have followed him, and he's great here in 2 roles actually in this movie.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
And here's one thing Matt Reeves does that is somewhat similar to the original, but I think he's doing it. Well, I'm sure the original director also did on purpose.
Yeah.
But he's doing. I love this because the focus is on the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Even though one of them, of course, has been a vampire for a long time, she's
been 12 for a very long time.
For a very long time. But still, he does the smart thing of even important adult characters are very often in the distance or obscured. The mom, we almost never actually see the full face.
I think there's one shot where you can kind of see her out of focus. One of my favorite bits of that is when he opens up her wallet and the plastic in front of the license is smudged.
Yeah. It's the visual equivalent of the Charlie Brown adults being muted trumpets, because it is the kids' story. So the adults are these figures that are just kind of around them.
They don't have names.
It is thrown off a little bit by starting it as kind of a mystery crime thing. He did do this sort of framing device, because it doesn't wrap up at the end.
Oh boy, hold on. everybody.
What's the name of
it? Hold your ears for this film school term. He starts in media res, sir.
He starts in media res. That's absolutely the thing.
Which
so
also is a very JJ. JJ does that a lot too. I think that's
And
it's a way to, it's a grabber.
He's putting us in familiar territory instead of the original. Really does focus on the child's life. We're really just following him around at school,
the community.
and at
There's
home.
much more of the community in the, because you have the whole thing in the original movie with the all the residents of.
You get to know a lot of the people before they become victims.
And this may just be I don't know enough to really talk, but I think that's an Americanized thing that we're maybe not as let's all get to know our neighbors and be a community necessarily. I think that feels like a cultural translation to me.
Yeah,
it's like let the cop investigate as opposed to just a guy in the original.
The idea in the original is, and I think I brought this up when we talked about the original, is you never get a sense that these weird deaths and murders, there's kind of the cop presence of like going to the school and saying, hey guys, be very safe, someone's out there doing something terrible, but it never becomes procedural. This doesn't become procedural, but he's going, this is an American movie, so we're going to have a cop detective character, even though he's never a huge part of it, but at the same time he's going to be outside the scenes actually paying attention to what's going on.
Well, because I feel like that is the cultural thing, right? Where an American audience would be going, I'm sorry, where is a policeman to investigate these murders?
Yeah.
And so you have it, and he's just named the policeman. He never gets a name.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nor does Richard Jenkins. Nor does the mother. Most of the adults don't have names in this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I did have to look up in the cast because I was curious. It's like, who's playing the mom? Since I can't ever see her. And I was like, oh, I know her from TV and stuff.
From Stranger Things. She'll go from this to playing a different 80s mom in supernatural situations, which I think it's Cara Buono, who's a very good actor. And
she's
does
very good.
Great here without ever being seen, really. I think, according to IMDb, there's one semi-clear shot of her face, but it's kind of from the side and still a little out of focus.
Even the performance of the dad and just like the one phone call kind of thing, you're like going, Matt Reeves was not going to let even something like that be handed off to someone who's not going to deliver. You're like going, oh, that's totally solid.
And because it's Elias Cotillas.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's great. Well, and I like that. That's a change I like here. I'm not, and this is not better. I just like the change of his father's a non-presence in this movie. Whereas, of course, his father is, we see the whole thing where his father's sort of living another life, but sees him. Here, it's this whole idea about like, yeah, maybe I'll come see you next week. And you get the sense, this kid's not seeing his dad anytime soon. And the way Reeves builds the tension of the parents, like right at the beginning of the movie, you have him, Owen sitting eating alone, and his mom is just yelling at somebody on the phone, and it's like, it's probably the ex.
The thing is that she's trying to ignore it, and then it's like, I've got to go answer it. So she answers it, and she was trying to get out of it, saying like, look, we're sitting down to dinner, I don't want to talk about this right now, but as a child of divorce, I'm just familiar with these things where it's like, oh, it'd be great if the kid never has to hear this.
Yeah.
But the kid is just on his own, and the mom is drawn into, don't you talk to me like that. Yeah. Is having an argument with the estranged, soon-to-be divorced father.
You mentioned the thing about when he's on the phone and he's like, Dad, do you think evil exists? And he's like,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, what is this, your mom doing the thing with her?
Well,
I told her I don't want the religion,
Yeah, part of the Americanization is that the mom, while being not totally absent or checked out, the one in the original is pretty checked out.
She's totally checked. This woman's only kind of checked out.
Is only kind of checked out, but is very religion based, which is one of the things that, yes, the father brings up, is like, oh God, do you get this from your mom?
Yeah.
So she is totally caught up in kind of like,
and also that once again fits the Reagan conservative, good values America.
And the cop is convinced, well, I mean, because these are bizarre murders, is convinced it's like, this has got to be something satanic.
And that, of course, is just what I like is Reeves puts that in, and that because of the setting, but we don't get too much of an emphasis. There's not like we're watching a report about satanic,
One of the things I find interesting in this is, and I know we're not really following the plot. We already did this movie before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm following the plot loosely. We're vaguely going through the movie.
I will say that
but mostly point out words.
One of the things I found interesting was, now the original has this bittersweet thing about the vampire's father figure, who is actually her familiar. Yeah. They have this bittersweet thing where he just can't provide for her the way he used to. He's getting old. And in the original, it's sad.
Yeah.
Here, it's contentious.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It's like, they're arguing. And it's more, I actually feel worse for this version of our main characters, because we see what his future is going to be like. And instead of it being like, oh, you're getting older and you can't help me, I have a feeling that the future for them is going to be much more like this one, where it's like, do I have to go out and do this myself? And
which I think is Reeves paralleling the divorced parents, right?
Yeah.
But this is what relationships descend into. And that is what, so in some ways,
there is a moment of like, like apology kind of thing with her, stroking his face, and he does write the last note, "I'm sorry, Abby,"
which is what we end that whole opening sequence on, where you have the ambulance, and then Elias Koteas wants to, and then they find the note that says, "I'm sorry."
This
Abby.
Movie's version of him failing to provide her with blood, and this is after the amazing car wreck. And he still burns himself with acid. Yep. In the original, it is the guy in the high school gym locker room.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. But here he's being taken to the hospital, and it's about, he was trying to kill a local teen, and he burned himself. And who is this guy? And he's probably a criminal. But they have the same beat of later on. It's like, his daughter is asking for him.
Yep.
He has a daughter. It's a little kid. What? So yes, we start with that.
Yes.
And we also have the detective guy trying to get some info out of him. He can't talk, but he puts down a little pad. And then he goes out to talk to the nurse. And then there's like a big scream, and they run in. And the terribly burned dude has apparently jumped out of the hospital window,
what it looks like,
and is dead in the snow.
Yep. Horrible.
Yeah. I mean, again, bringing tension and horror right up front.
Well, that's the thing I like about, being like I said, I feel like I don't know that this was the case, but I feel like teens and stuff that went to this on a date were probably like, this movie's lame. Why is it scarier? And it's like, it's eerie. There's just a creepy part of what I love about this movie too, of course, is, and that's another one, Matt Reeves, Richard Jenkins. These are all guys you've heard me on any show praise. The third guy we're going to talk about here is Michael Giacchino, and his really delicate, often beautiful score that then only gets scary here and there. I really like the way he mostly plays like a romantic but kind of melancholy piano throughout it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I love about Giacchino is he really is a film composer who relies a lot on piano, and a lot of they don't do that as much.
One of the things I love about him is he's got a beautiful head of hair.
What a head of hair on that guy, am I right?
No, he always delivers.
He's one of the best. He's done all of Reeves's movies.
That's what I was about to say. It's like, he learned quick. He's like, okay, we want this all the time, because this guy gets what I'm after. So I'm going to keep this person in my, he's going to be forefront of my Rolodex. Well, that's right. I'm mentioning a Rolodex.
It's the Spielberg-Williams relationship too. I think a lot of filmmakers have this, where it's just like, we're in sync. I mean,
I don't have to tell you.
Giacchino talked about, he wrote the main Batman theme just from the script, just from Reeves. Before they'd even shot anything. He had that like bum 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 bum, And he was just like, I knew immediately just from reading it, the tone of this Batman was this. He also said, he goes, I've been quietly waiting to write a Batman theme my whole life. Because he's also,
I like
as we know, a huge fucking nerd, Giacchino, of course.
Yeah. It's like, I keep this pretty close.
Because I've always kind of wanted to write a Batman theme. So, and of course, he ends up being an amazing director himself with Werewolf by Night, which I thought he crushed.
He needs another one. Give the man another job.
It may already be out by the time, but he's attached to the remake of Them, the giant ant movie.
Oh,
which
that's
I
right.
think would be really interesting to see what a modern Them looks like.
Can't imagine, but man, do I love the original.
Yeah, the original is the best of those giant, monster movies like that. The sort of, at least the American ones.
Just have a mute PTSD little girl at the beginning pointing at a picture of an ant going, them. Yeah. As long as that's there, we're safe.
Yeah. A rare jump from composer to filmmaker, by the way. You don't see that?
That's not a thing.
John Williams was never like, let me try my hand. Can I do one of these Star Wars?
Give me a little one. Just a little one.
Yeah, George, you got a little Star Wars in there. Maybe it's all it. You do start with, and I think one of the things that reading a lot of American critics reacted to this, they go like, this thing is, I think they were just surprised at like, I can't believe how disturbing this movie is. And like you have
did they not see the original?
It seems more like they are surprised that he kept intact some of the weirder, darker stuff. Is sort of what there's a lot of positive reviews of this going like, let's say he did clear the bar for a lot of critics by just being like, he didn't fuck it up. There does seem to be some of that. There are people who are like me and think he elevated it, and then there's a lot of people just going like, wow, he got a studio. It's more like, this is a guy who convinced a studio not to ruin this thing. But like you have Owen in the plastic mask with the knife, and you haven't seen the bullies yet or know that they call him a little girl, so you're just like, oh, Jesus, this kid's on his way to being a serial killer. Holy God.
Yeah.
I like that because I can't remember how that goes in the original movie. If you already know the context of the bullies before, I think it's the reverse.
I remember. I think the first thing isn't it the police giving a chat to the class?
Oh,
and also he's been looking at pictures.
I think that's what it is.
News reports of serial killers.
I think that's what it is. And then in this though, he just jumped right into him fully masked. And then he's peeping on people with his telescope, which I love. And this is true about the original movie, too. But I love the way that this maintains this, where it's like, at that age, because he's 12, you have a burgeoning sexuality, but no real context for it. So it's alluring and scary, like when he's looking.
This very, very smartly does you're worried about this kid without the context. That's very clever. But then it all does fall into place because you will see explanations for all of it, and then it'll all be like, yeah, of course. But including the whole thing about, well, little girl, it's like, are you afraid of this? And you're like, oh my God, creepy serial killer kid. And then you realize, oh, because that's what his bullies call him.
Right.
And he has no way of dealing with that, the feelings of powerlessness and so forth. And so he's sort of mentally trying to psych himself up into being a badass. And you're like, okay. And that is similar to the original. Here, Reeves is being very upfront about it, but he has still set it up cleverly enough to where our first impression is we're worried about the kid being bad, being evil or crazy. And then we realize, no, he's just powerful.
I was just watching this thinking about like an audience of American viewers who have no context for this.
Oh, yeah.
And when it suddenly cuts to this, they're like, what the fuck movie did we go into? Oh, my God.
Yes.
I thought this was a thing about a vampire girl. Instead, I got a serial killer boy. Because we do see them
him
attacking
wearing the creepy mask and holding a knife and saying, are you afraid, little girl?
Like,
all right. And then he's watching a couple have sex, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, Jesus. And then but I like, once again, then he like cowers from it, too. It's all very well played. Cody Smith-McPhee, who's coming off of, it's another thing, Reeves really lucked into casting. I said he cast Moretz before the Kick-Ass had been made, but it hadn't come out. And the other thing, Cody Smith-McPhee had done The Road, but it hadn't come out yet. with the Viggo Mortensen
yeah.
Cormac McCarthy movie. And similarly, he had talked to both of those directors, John Hillcoat and Matthew Vaughn, and he was just like, I think this kid looks right. Is this kid? And both were like, you got to fucking cast these kids. They're really good. So they both had become bigger stars by the time it had come out, but he was casting them on the promise of hearing about the work they had done. And right about both of them, because they were both amazing as kids, and they're both still incredible actors as adults.
Yeah. I mean, every now and then, it's not just a flash in the pan of someone who happened to be a decent kid actor and then, failed.
Right.
That's why I'm always happy when, even if it takes a million years, you'll get to see someone like, Haley Joel Osment comes back, and you're like going, oh, no, you still have it. It's just that you had to transition out of being that
character actor. Haley Joel Osment is legitimately one of my favorite actors working. He comes in and will just crush in a movie. He will crush. He's so good.
Yeah.
And also
freed from all the weight of having to be the next big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. And you're just like, God, this kid he's just got raw talent. Kid, he's the same age as me.
This kid, I like this guy.
But he's still, there's still a part of me that's like, it's the kid from Sixth Sense, though, right?
Of course.
Yeah, he was Forrest Gump's. He was also Forrest Gump's kid before that, even.
That's right.
Yeah. So we see him. We see him go. Oh, we see him get attacked in the locker room. And he pees himself, which I like the bullies being like, oh!
Dude, I will say realistic bullying in films, even though this is an extreme version, which just like in the original, you're like, how far are they going?
It builds to it, right? Which is nice.
Yeah, it builds to it. But I also like, even in this scene, the main bully, his buddies, similar to the original, they are clearly minions, so they get uncomfortable. It's like, dude, that's kind of intense. And then it's like, maybe back off a little bit.
And then what was cool then is when his brother comes in at the end, then even he's like, hey, dude, like, okay, because like that kid's worse than these two kids, but his brother's a legit psycho.
And then you see where it all came from. Yeah. Yes, the original did that well. This also did this.
This is Dylan Minnette is the actor who plays the main bully in this, who's also a very good actor. He went on to be the star of that show 13 Reasons Why on Netflix.
Which I never saw.
But he was also really good in The Dropout, the Elizabeth Holmes miniseries that was on Hulu with Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
He's the like young guy who kind of ends up being the whistleblower on that.
Oh.
Good actor and really good here. Anyway. So they meet. It's very similar to the same thing. Okay. The first time you see Jenkins go out to get blood, I went like, oh my God, he totally repurposed this into Batman, right? Him with the bag on his head coming up on the back seat, very similar to what he does with Riddler. And the plastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And again, the bag, mask, the whole thing.
Although, according to the IMDb, that was Jenkins' idea. The plastic bag with the holes cut in it. That was his.
Oh.
Yeah, his take on it, which is, but I'm sure Matt Reeves was like, yeah.
I will say, just like in the original, the pathos of this poor dude who has spent decades being the servant to this creature that he loves.
Yeah.
But he just plays it as both being the Renfield, the slave. At the same time, he's an old crotchety dude.
Yep.
So his scenes do have this amazing push and pull of anything for you, but Jesus, do I have to? And the scene where he's like going, I'm getting sloppy. He goes, you know what? And actually, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just tired to do it. And I want to be able to give you what you need, but I don't think I can anymore. And maybe I should just die.
Yeah,
just like,
because that very much his death scene is like, okay,
yeah,
let me just fucking
die.
Like him,
Jenkins, you did it again,
dude. And he's doing and once again, I'm sure it's already in season 3 by the time this is out. He's doing Ed Brubaker's Criminal for Amazon.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do it as the patriarch of that family and stuff like that.
Yes,
dude.
Jenkins can do anything.
Legitimately, I am always talking about him because he is one of the best living actors, I think.
He can do stupid comedy. and he can do the grimmest drama
stuff. He's so
stuff.
funny in what I think is an underrated movie in general, which is the Coen Brothers Burn After Reading, which I think is a hilarious movie. And
he is one of the best things in it.
Is so good in that movie. Everybody's having a lot of fun in that movie.
I love
this is a difference from the original I really like here is he does successfully get this guy, string him up, drain the blood, gets in the bucket, but then he slips with the thing and dumps all the blood. It's such a
the original thing where literally he goes right off of a walk path and he's barely 10 feet away from like passers-by. And this one, he's legitimately gotten away with it, but it's this dumb, clumsy moment. You're like,
because it's like, this guy can still basically do it, but he's lost a step, and so he's lost a step. He's got the thing. He does it very. I've got it.
And Abby is not happy.
She is not. I also like that when they do something to her voice when she's yelling at Jenkins, because I don't think Owen is perceiving it necessarily as her.
Yeah.
When the berating, there's a deepness to it.
That is an interesting thing that I had forgotten when I first watched it. And then watching it last night, I was like going, oh, right. They keep trying to indicate, there's the thing in the original where it's like, I'm not a girl. Right. And it's like, right, we find the backstory, or if you read the book and you're like, oh, former eunuch, essentially, and from centuries ago and whatever. But here, there's the indication of, I'm just other. Here, I'm not a girl is also like, I'm a creature. And so in the case of this, when she's mad, we don't see it, but through the walls, it sounds like Richard Jenkins being upset and angry, but this very male voice. Yeah. It's like going, do I have to do this myself? And you're like going, holy crap.
It's demonic. It's got a little bit of that exorcist thing to it. But I like that.
She undergoes a physical transformation when she's vamping out. That the original didn't. It was just the little girl basically tearing throats out.
But it's still subtle. It's not full Lost Boys.
Well, there's veiny makeup and the eyes.
But what I'm saying is it's not. But they don't go full prosthetic Lost Boys.
No, they're not doing Lost Boys or Angel, where it's like warped forehead or something.
But no, there is definitely a more. And I love in this, and this may have been in the original. I mean, even though I can't. But I like the whole thing when he's like, "Are you a vampire?" And she's like, I need blood. Like she's like, I haven't really stopped to categorize what the hell I am.
But
I just
that's
know
also
I'm
the original.
That is where the original.
I think he does. Yeah,
it's something like there's a scene
similar. Are you a
to
vampire?
That,
and she goes, I think the same thing. It's like I do need.
It probably
blood
is.
To live. I'm just not going into that. And they do the same thing here with the whole thing about how old are you? Well, I'm 12, and he goes, I'm 12 and 3 months or blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, I've been 12 for a while.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've been 12 for a long time, which is a
good line. The Rubik's Cube thing. I mean, it's all there.
It is what Reeves is saying, where it's like, I could make changes just to be different, but why damage the movie when I can do this? So you do have a similar scene to the cop talking to the kids in the school, but here he's addressing a full assembly, Elias Koteas. And doing the your safety is our number one concern.
Yeah, and here, and I also like this attention to reality, which is even though what caused this is the death of that kid from the beginning that Jenkins got, or I mean the first victim,
right?
And it makes sense now that the cops are addressing people at that school, and saying like, look. He was one of you guys, but what I like is he's basically there because someone just maybe a couple years older than them has been killed, but probably someone they knew, and yet you still have kids because they're kids. They're giggling and they're elbowing each other. They're not listening, and primarily the bully kids who are being very insensitive. And you're like going, that is very kid-like. I remember, not a long story, but I was in 8th grade when the Challenger exploded.
Right.
And we had been watching the Challenger lift off because pretty much anytime there was a space shuttle launch, they would bring in TVs. We'd watch it.
We did it even when I was a kid, when John Glenn went back up into space. We watched it in school. Yeah. So
live, we see it explode. Yeah. And stunned. everyone is stunned.
I think,
and within seconds,
that's one of
there are
those
kids making jokes and giggling.
Yep, I was gonna say, I think that is one of those things that like anyone who was a kid or in school age at that time has that story, because it was, everyone, and I'm sure every school also had the kids making fun of it.
Yeah. I wrote an editorial for the school paper about how upsetting that was and how wrong it was.
Yeah.
And I won a teen journalism award.
Hey,
thank you.
I can't remember if I before. I have a journalism award too.
What?
Yeah, also for a high school but a very different thing that I wrote about the MPAA and the stupidness of the movie rating system.
Why can't we see boobs? Was that what it was called?
I think, it was called Why Can't We See Boobs? Yeah. They gave me a state high school journalism award for Why Can't We See Boobs?
I love it. But way to take it to the MPAA.
Because I think that
had you just seen the documentary?
Yeah. The Kirby Dix documentary, which still to this day enrages me, because it actually has only changed.
And it changed nothing. That's the thing, is everyone's still aware that it's all stupid.
I just listened to Kevin Smith talk about losing his appeal for his new movie because he wanted a PG-13, and he goes, "There's not a single utterance of the F word. There's no nudity. There's no violence," but they're like, "Yeah, but these kids are just pretty randy."
Wow.
That was it. They're just like, there's nothing you can cut. These kids are just kind of crude, man. It's like, but they don't curse and they don't talk explicitly. And they're like, yeah, but this attitude they have, that's an arm. It's like, are you fucking okay?
Oh, this world.
That's the worst, movie, is when they just go like, the
this
tone.
Was a PG, wasn't it?
This was PG, yeah. I think that's another thing, though, where I feel like, once again, especially at this time, I think we dodged the bullet of this not being more Twilight-like, and them taking it to a PG-13 and making it more of a pure romance, as opposed to, this movie is a romance like the original was too, but there is that creeping like, hey, but this is disturbing too.
Yeah, it's not meant to be.
It still
really
doesn't have an American studio mentality to it. It still kind of feels indie in nature. Like you said, if you didn't have the context of the Swedish film, this movie would be like, really? They put this out as like a major release?
Yeah.
It would be pretty shocking. So I
will say that it's well observed. If you're going to Americanize, Reeves, I don't know how old he is, but he's
probably close to
how old is he?
I would guess he's the same generation as you, I would think.
Okay. Because he really does nail stuff.
Oh, he's a little bit old. He's 58 right now, as of right now.
Oh, so he's a little older.
He's a little old, yeah. But roughly in the same,
Yeah, he's closer to Robin. But but the whole idea of he knows that period well.
Yeah.
Because the original also did the on the nose thing with Romeo and Juliet, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. But this one, having the class watching Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet film in the class, exactly lifted out of my life.
Same here.
And everyone either ignoring it or being kind of wrapped up in it, and it's exactly the same. It's like, which kid was I? I was a kid actually watching it, and there were plenty of idiots who were like bored.
Yeah.
And I like that in this version, even though our romantic lead is this boy, Owen, when he's asked about it by Abby, he goes, "It's something I have to read for school. It's really boring."
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's not like going, "I feel like I'm Romeo."
When I was in high school, though, because a little bit later, we would watch the same scene from Zeffirelli and from Lerman back and forth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we just watched Zeffirelli's all the way through because Lerman's didn't exist
yet. But I will say Lerman's definitely got people's attention more because it is designed to be.
Of course, it was a hip reboot.
It's a very cool. It's one of the only.
Zeffirelli's caught attention because there was nudity in it, which now is apparently problematic, and apparently Olivia Hussey is upset about it. As is
our teacher put a clipboard in front of the screen when the nudity happened.
Our teacher did not.
Yeah.
So
I know. I always hear stories.
I think she was like, "Guys, there's going to be some content in this that you guys are going to giggle at."
She just casually, she knew when that was coming up and just went clunk over the screen, and then
I did like that. My teacher was just like, we were the honors English class, so maybe we're supposed to be more, And she's like going, "But I hear one giggle out of you guys."
I swear to fucking God.
We dealt with it.
Yeah.
We dealt with it.
I think I mentioned this before that when I was in high school was during the era of clean flicks. So we would sometimes get the edited versions of movies. I don't did I say Here's the thing, I don't know what stories I tell where. So if you've heard this before, bear with me. It's not a very but we watched the clean flicks versions of Excalibur when I was in whatever year we did the Once and Future King.
I'm angry.
It was a 25-minute movie. No, but there was a lot of just suddenly would cut away to stuff. Or the other thing that a lot of the clean flicks, the screen would just black out. So it'd be like a battle scene where you wouldn't see any of the gore. You would just hear clank, 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 clank.
That was
clank.
when they were too like guys, just put a black thing in front of it because editing is too much work.
Okay, so we talked about he failed to do that. So Abby is like, I guess I got to go out and do it myself. And this is where you get, we've got a little bit more money for special effects, and you got the guy in the tunnel. But what I like about the way Reeves shoots this is, obviously we have a CG Abby at a certain point.
CG doesn't work too well.
I kind of like the herky-jerk, like.
I mean, I like that as like an animalistic thing, but this is still, for a $20 million film, it's okay. But
I like the way he shoots it in the shadowy.
Janky.
I don't know. I thought kind of because I was gonna say I like the way he shoots it in the tunnel. He keeps he doesn't make the CGI the star of it.
But he knows because he's smart enough to know it's not going to look great.
There's plenty of movies from this era that would lean a lot harder into it. I guess.
Including the scene later where she does the scurry up the side of the building. It's a similar thing where you're going, all right, you're aware that it would not look better if I really focused on it.
Well, this is
he's
the guy
doing
who,
it in darkness, and
once again, he's coming off of Cloverfield, which is a movie where he had to convince a studio, I can shoot a giant monster movie for very little money, and let me tell you how you do that.
I like Cloverfield.
I like Cloverfield a lot, but that was where he's just like, they said the Paramount and stuff was looking at the script going, this is going to cost $40. He goes, no, I have a vision for this. I'm telling you, I'm going to shoot this in a way that's going to feel gigantic, but not have to spend that much money. And that movie, I mean, we talk about one of the reasons this movie is the way, and he shot that was a $25 million movie. I had to look this up.
Yeah.
It made 172 worldwide.
He picked his moments.
He's a very smart dude. And has earned the trust of a studio to go because I think there's no way he makes this movie. He even gets this job, let alone gets the kind of creative leeway to make this sort of movie if he isn't like, well, this is the guy they rolled the dice on Cloverfield with and it was a massive hit.
Yeah.
Because before this,
where would we be without the Cloverfield franchise? It just keeps getting better and better.
I don't know about that. I think people overreacted to the Cloverfield paradox. I thought that movie was okay. The third one, I thought it was okay. I thought people way overreacted. 10 Cloverfield Lane is the masterpiece to me. I think that movie's incredible.
Yeah, because it's everything is tangentially connected, and I think that was such a smart way to go. It's like with the original idea for Halloween.
Yeah, the idea that,
that.
Yeah, it's like that, and then just closed a little bit, where it's like these are just sections of the same world. The same thing is happening, but we're over here. I love that idea. Make more of those. Because even if people didn't like Cloverfield Paradox, make another one because it's a different story. You can still set it in that world. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she drinks that guy's blood. Then you got to have Jenkins go dispose of the body.
I mean, there's the briefest at the very beginning, the briefest of the Rear Window thing. As you said, we don't get that community thing where we know these people.
Yeah.
We just get them as thin sketches. So that was the workout guy. And the workout guy's jogging through the tunnel. And the only reason, because she's just like in the original, not a wanton killer. Well, I mean, she doesn't do the work herself.
Right.
But it's only because her guy can't do that anymore. So she's starving. They keep the thing about her stomach grumbling all the time.
Yeah.
So she goes out and she does the whole please help me. And then this poor nice guy is like, yeah, let me get you back to your place. And she just spider monkeys all over him and chaws him down.
Yeah, and certainly, a lot more blood. Although there wasn't certainly. I mean, the original was definitely rated R as well too. But there's definitely a little bit more gore in this, but not as much as it sounds like faint praise. I have seen this movie a few times, so it was specifically in the watching of this time that I was going like, God, somebody else really would have upped the blood on this thing though.
Yeah.
So I mean, then the movie kind of, like I said, a lot of the stuff is the same sort of story beats. when they lash Owen in his face. And that's where you do get one of the bullies, Toadies, being like, dude, Jesus Christ, man. Because I think he has, like, what's his mom going to fucking... Like, you can't lash a kid's face and just, but then, of course, he tells the mom
it's just like
fell.
the original.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then...
It's like, she's only barely aware of it. Like, he's like, I fell.
I think here is something that this movie weirdly fixes that I don't think is necessarily a problem, but we were trying to figure out, I think, what the deal, why he was taking after-school classes in the pool in the first movie. Yeah. Here they make the point of showing him, he's like, I want to sign up for strength training.
Yeah, I think it is still pretty clear in the original, and that comes after, I believe, it comes after where she, Abby in this one,
tells him to hit back.
Yeah. You have to hit back. And he's like, well, what if there's a lot of them? Then you're going to have to hit back even harder.
Yeah.
And what if she goes, you just have to keep hitting harder.
Actually, I like what she says. Like, but what if they hit back harder too? And she says, you have a knife. And you're like, yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's like, well, what if blah, blah? And she goes, well, then I will help you.
Yeah.
Which the whole thing with her, similar to the original, is there is kind of an immediate bond, but she is aloof. And she says the same thing from the original, which is, I just want you to know we're not going to be friends. And then, they're bonding night after night. Now she cares about him. He cares about her. And I'm not trying to misgender the character.
The character in this, I think, is... Well, and in fact, did you see this? That they shot and then cut an origin story for her?
The thing with the scar?
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah. But I mean, so this version is a female.
Or at least it's much more ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean...
When she's saying, I'm not a girl, I'm not a girl, it would you like me even if I wasn't a girl?
I think that
that's
she means
all still in this one.
Yeah, but I think here it reads more like you're saying as, I'm not human almost.
Yeah, I'm not human.
Because had they included the flashback in this one...
You would have loved it even more?
No, I don't. I think Matt Reeves is right. We just didn't need it because that just...
No.
But that would have... definitively made her a female before she was turned into a vampire.
Yes,
because that would have been the scene that way they would have shown her getting to. And I can't. Yeah, can't imagine that would have been needed.
No, and I also can't imagine American audiences, even if they'd seen the original, they're probably like going, "Dude, this is so creepy. Do we have to get even creepier with the idea of her being a former eunuch?" And it's like, oh,
well, but that wasn't this version in this.
No, not in this one.
Yeah, in the original.
What I'm saying I think that was a choice where they're like going, not only is it not needed, it's another thing that will turn off American audiences.
Sure. And even
because it's enough that we have.
And as we talk about, even the Swedish movie made it much vaguer than the book does.
Very true. And here they do the thing of they're keeping something which is probably going to disturb lots of people watching it, which is just the whole idea of what looks physically like a 12-year-old girl is clearly in a relationship with the old man.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, dude, that's just...
Yeah.
Even though we know she's centuries old, it's like, okay.
Well, we talked about
the Claudia thing. It's in Interview with the Vampire.
Well, we talked about even the Swedish film knew to back some of that off because in the book their relationship was expressly sexual.
Yeah.
Whereas in both the Swedish film and this one, it's vague what it is. Here, it definitely pretty firmly has a romantic vibe to it. Not that that's not in the Swedish movie, but you literally get the thing of he was this kid decades ago.
The whole movie, the thing I couldn't remember from having watched it originally, the whole time in this movie, I'm looking at Richard Jenkins, loving him, and I'm sitting there going, but what's the deal? Why did they feel the need to give him that weird birthmark? And then
it's just so they can set up the photo, yeah.
Oh, of course. It's because without having a character say, oh, he's been with her, or I've been with her since I was your age.
Right.
There would never be a photograph.
There would never be a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he ever talks to Owen. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. And but he is aware of being replaced, and he does do the thing of like, promise me you won't see that boy anymore.
Yeah.
Which of course she does not.
Nope, because they immediately are going to the arcade right now, which is similar to the scene from the original movie, but the arcade obviously
I can't remember what food he tries to in the original, but it's something where it's like, oh, I love this stuff. You'll love it too. You've never had it?
It's more like it's another like. I thought it was more like
thing.
Here is the now and later, which becomes a thing, and
yes,
I like that. Like you were saying, I like that specific touch. He doesn't just like candy; he likes this kind of candy.
He likes this kind of candy, but I just love the concept of. It's a beautiful way in both movies of showing, she may see a purpose in having a new familiar, but there's a true bond because this is how willing she is to try and connect with this boy.
Because he drops it when she says she doesn't want it. He's like, okay.
She knows it's going to fuck her up, but she's like, I will try it because you love this and let's see what happens. But of course, she eats it, and it makes her violently ill.
And he hugs her, and it's of course similar to the first movie. But it is such a moment too of he cares for her in a way that's
yes.
And because we said that about the first movie, and I think that here too. You can get into the argument about whether or not she's using him, but I don't think either movie leans towards that. That's your read, I think you're actually having to ignore parts of it if you are definitively black and white saying she's just using him.
There are plenty of vampire films that will focus on the focused on the master and servant aspect, but a lot of them, including Vampire Brides and so forth, the ones I've always liked are the ones that are ambiguous, where it's like, no, you don't understand. Because The Hunger was similar, where it's like, I've loved all of them. The problem is that they are mortal and they will die. I don't know if this vampire can ever change someone into a vampire. It seems not.
Well, because this is the other thing I like about everything in the both movies and the book and stuff like that is other vampire. It's not a world full of vampires. It's like into this world there exists a vampire, and maybe there are other vampires, but that's not this story, so it doesn't really matter.
No, but they are still pop culture enough, or obviously they're known because he's like going, "Are you a vampire?" And then she starts going, I'm a vampire.
Well, she had just worked with Nicolas Cage, unfortunately, before this, and took up some of it.
What a weird take.
One of my favorite weird Nicolas Cage performances is with Chloe Moretz in Kick-Ass, where he is giving a fucking weird performance.
There is that. And fucking weird performance and Nick Cage go together like a horse and carriage.
Yep.
But so it's a moving scene, just like in the original. Again, I have to keep comparing, but you have a filmmaker who's doing it and providing the exact same feel, and you have two very talented young actors who give you the same warm, fuzzy vibes.
Let's get to one of the scenes that I talked about that I particularly really stood out to me, and I mentioned it a second ago, but is a big difference, which is this second attempt of him to get blood, where he gets in the back seat of this car.
Yes.
And not only am I obsessed with the car crashes in it, I love the whole build-up to it. Reeves is such a good thriller director.
He takes his time with this thing because it could have just immediately gone south. Instead, he is building tension. With essentially the mistakes are one after the other. The idea that he's doing is normal. I'm hiding in the backseat. I will eventually reach up.
Yeah.
But he didn't count on the guy giving a ride to his buddy.
And then
and his buddy tossing his bag in the backseat. So on top of Jenkins, who's still just laying there, like waiting for a chance.
Every time he does that or goes back to get something out of his bag, you're just like, oh, they're gonna find They
stop at a convenience store, and it's at that point that he makes his move on the passenger. He was originally going to get the driver, but the driver gets out and goes into the convenience store.
And that shot of the guy paying for his stuff in the convenience store, and you just look out through the window and they're fighting in the car. It's so good.
This is basically just, because this is the attempt that fails that leads to the beginning of the movie. This is this movie's version of the failed attempt in the high school.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I will admit, this is much more kinetic.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously.
But it's built of similar beats, right? Where it's like he didn't count on the friends coming back.
Right.
but it's rejig it and turn more into, yes, like a set piece. And then it's a thing that Reeves does in all of his stuff that is a real, like, Matt Reeves signature, is the locked off camera. He does a similar thing in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where you've got the fight that's happening and the camera's just stuck on the tank turret that's turning as this fight is happening around it.
Yeah.
He does a similar car crash with the Penguin. I mean, that whole Batmobile chase in The Batman is
chef's kiss.
Incredible. The guy is not like an action director, but man, when he puts action on screen, it is really impressive stuff. And always reserved, though. Always, he's not a Michael Bay, who I also really enjoy, but that's a totally different style of chaos. You know, here
that's a showy noey. That's
as fans have dubbed it over the years, Bayhem.
But also it feels like he took lots of notes from like a Tony Scott and that kind of thing.
He's definitely in that vein, yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna go there, I want it to be as big,
lots
and
of movement. Here, the thing that's cool is Reeves is doing the opposite. It's a bunch of action happening, but the camera is still. And so
and
I remember sitting in the theater,
contained because it's still just within this car.
Yeah.
So,
but like his attempt, and even just the way it's like, oh shit,
they're
coming out.
This was him trying to Children of Men?
A little bit, yeah. Which I mean, one of my very favorite movies, and
that scene, of course.
That scene where the camera just keeps going around and the car's back.
It feels like a single take.
It's one of those like movie magic moments where you're like, how in the hell did they put this together? I don't know. I
really wish I had done more eavesdropping. I will say that having Ron Howard and George Lucas sitting in front of me, I really wish they didn't talk during the movie, which that shows
respect.
Their respect.
Yeah, it's like they like movies or something.
I would have loved if they were just like, did you fucking see that? That was great.
Because they had to be thinking that. Two filmmakers can't be watching that and not just thinking, holy God. And also, as we know, actually, I'm sure 3, because Bryce has turned into an excellent director as well.
She's on her way.
Yeah. I think,
I haven't seen anything by her that's like, holy shit.
Well, but she's just been doing solid work on the Star Wars shows. I feel like people have been like, when it just like Giacchino, it's like, give her something. Let her run.
It may be time for, and that could have just been her film school. So well, not her film school. I mean, she grew up.
Probably growing up with her dad was pretty good film school, like one of the great filmmakers. Yeah. Hot take: Ron Howard, pretty good at directing movies.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm still a huge defender of Excuse My Dust. He didn't direct that, did he?
You mean Eat My Dust?
He was in it. For Corman?
I think he did do Eat My Dust. The thing was, he did 2 movies. He did Grand Theft Auto and Eat My Dust. And the thing was, they were like, if you star in one, we'll let you direct the second.
Oh, there you go.
I think he did do Eat My Dust, and he starred in Grand Theft Auto. But that was the thing was...
No, I think he's in Eat My Dust.
No, he's in both.
Oh, okay, right.
He also
You're talking about directing-wise.
Yeah, right. I think that was the thing was, you have to be in both, but if you star in one, we'll also let you direct the second one. Because that was the Corman thing. Talk about a guy, I mean, say what you will, but talk about just in terms of film school. My God, what a
and you know what? We don't have anything like that again.
Not at all. There's no room. There is nothing like that now, which is a huge bummer. So anyway, love that whole sequence though. I remember just being blown away in the theater when that car started rolling.
It's so good.
It's like, oh my God, it's
the spinning car.
Because especially this was the era of every movie had that CGI shot where the car came through the window, and then you started going, yeah. When I saw this, I went like, whoa, this is a totally different thing. Love that. And then yes, the thing of him.
And then you did your Billy Campbell, and you said, I like it.
That was me. Yeah. And they were like, shut up. No, he pours acid on himself, which is just horrifying in both movies.
It's horrifying, and the screaming and all that, and that is what led to the beginning. So
because we see her hear the news report. She goes to the hospital. It's very similar to the original movie.
And we're seeing it from the other perspective, because originally we were following Casey Jones, and in this one we're following her into the hospital, and we see as we did in the original, that he didn't fully just jump. She visits him in her flying way, and basically is like, "Oh, you poor dude, and this is it, and you want to go, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, please."
And the way he just leans his head out and offers his neck up, because he's just like, "I'm done."
And she feasts on him, and then basically lets him tumble to the ground.
It's a great shot. One thing I just hold in, and he just.
And that fall is really good. I don't know. Really I don't know. Was there CG involved, or was that just a stunt?
I'm wondering if it's some sort of composite of the two. Like, was it green screen into a real fall?
And we're not talking like, we're talking 4 or 5 stories. Maybe it's a hospital in a smaller town.
But the way that the camera just sits there, it doesn't cut to outside. You just watch him fully fall to the ground,
and it's just a gorgeously shot.
Yeah, like I said, Reeves
into
is so
fake snow. Yep. Most of the snow in this is not convincing. I'm sorry. I know that it does snow there, but I have to say that most of the time I'm looking at it going like, oh, what powdery stuff did they use there? Because that ain't snow.
I don't know when they were filming too. Oh, they were filming winter, November into January. So there may have been some snow, and then they accented it.
I did see, like, when she's sitting on the bench thing out in front of the thing, and she's and he leaves her alone with the Rubik's Cube. You see some dripping water coming through the thing, and I'm like, all right, she's probably sitting on patches of they made some snow. But when she jumps off of it into it, it comes up like it's fluff stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's not snow. So they probably did like, here's patches of actual melting snow.
Right. Well, because they did talk about her having to be barefoot out in the winter. There was not great. They immediately had to put her feet in some sort of heating, thing or whatever.
Yes. I don't want her to suffer for her art.
He did tell, by the way, this just made me think, he also did tell both kids not to watch the original movie. He didn't want any of the performances influencing them, which I don't think they do. The similarities, I don't get the sense that either one of them are trying to do what the kids did specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good note.
The way she plays the character here is similar, but it's still her performance, and it's great. I mean, I for all that I'm saying is like, this is good. This is good. Both kids are amazing.
Well, I think here's, as often I do, Roger Ebert's quote about this movie. And I think you would agree with this. Reeves understands what made the first film so eerie and effective, and here the same things work again.
Yeah, the same things work again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. But you wouldn't go so far as Stephen King, who wrote Let Me In, is a genre-busting triumph. Not just a horror film, but the best American horror film in the last 20 years.
I would not say that.
Okay.
I mean, I love the guy. We disagree occasionally.
That takes me back to doing the IP Squad when I was doing What Does Uncle Stevie Think on my when we did the Stephen King season. Because it's not based on one of his books, so he likes it. Because no one has bitched about the adaptations of his own work more than that dude.
No, and no one ever will.
No, because people like money. You're like, why would I say anything bad? In retrospect, years later, that's the move, actually, is the thing where it's like years later, once it's been completely acknowledged that the thing is bad, then you go like, yeah, that was bad.
And that'll happen even from people involved.
Somebody who was not happy about this was director of the original film. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
Tomas,
what did he have to say?
Alfredson, is that his name, I believe?
Well,
I think that's right. Yeah, Tomas Alfredson. Number one, they offered him the directing gig first.
Yeah, I did know that, and he was like,
which I have always been
thank you.
Kind of baffled by when people do that. Although I don't know if you saw just recently, once again, it's been out for years by the time you're hearing this, John Woo has directed an American version of The Killer that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Because it's always fascinating when people
yeah, but again, I don't necessarily want it. No offense, but
well, this is a wild divergence from the original movie, though, at least in terms of the casting of it.
In the case of that, yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, it's a different thing. But I am always fascinated by when people do make the remakes of the. I mean, one of the most famous is The Vanishing, which I love the whole thing about. Like, they ruined it in America. They did, but it's the same guy, weirdly.
Yeah, weirdly, the same guy trying to adapt his own stuff, and you're like, that. Did you consciously fuck that up?
So anyway, yeah, he was vehemently against them doing this, and I'm trying to see if I have the quote here. but he basically said, "Oh, if one should remake a film, it's because the original is bad, and I don't think mine is what he said."
That is exactly what I'm saying. I mean, but we agree with that. We talk about remakes all the time.
Yeah.
We're kind of in lockstep. The reason you make a remake is to make a better film off of a failed one, or to make a radically different take like that. Those are the only reasons to make a remake. You don't take a successful and good, universally acclaimed film and go, I can do it. Yeah, I can do that one.
I think one of the things that I don't get the sense here is that anyone making this was trying to improve it per se.
No,
they're trying to translate is maybe the
translate is a very safe way of putting it. But I still am like, we're back to the original.
I still like this movie more.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah, that's fine. But
you're wearing the T-shirt right now.
I don't. You wouldn't be surprised if I did have that. But
you have the "Let Me In" popcorn bucket right behind you.
Yeah, they never. Speaking of that, I thought you were going to say they never made pop miles from this because I would have it if they did. So anyway, that takes us back, as you said, takes us back to the start of the movie, where she then goes back to him, which is a similar scene where she comes up and gets in bed with him. This is where you're being very careful for American audiences when she takes her clothes off and gets in bed with the kid.
Dude, I was surprised at her stripping down.
I mean, obviously it's all out of focus and obscured, but like it's still just that in concept. You would think,
and no doubt, not her.
Oh, sure, yeah, of course, but just in general, that sort of sexuality of young kids in an American film, you just don't see.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
it is something that's sometimes gracefully handled by European filmmakers, sometimes not gracefully, but it's something they're not very afraid of.
Right.
They do a lot more sexual coming of age stories than America ever has. If America does it, it's stuff like, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or
where everyone's 25,
yes,
right?
Or Last American Virgin. These are both 80s movies. I don't think we've had something like that isn't American Pie in a long time.
Yeah, like
super
what if
someone
bad
doing a sensitive thing about your first time? We just don't feel comfortable with that.
No, I'm thinking about stuff like that, like the Apatow movies, like Superbad. Sexuality is a component, but it really is more about like the male friendship at the center of it than it is about.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not going to have any kind of suggestive scene. You might see like teens waking up the morning after going like, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did that happen? That's cool."
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I need to see teenage characters.
No, I think that is what you're saying. I think that is clearly what you meant.
I really. How do you erase tweets, John?
Yeah. What's that? Bye, everybody. Forever.
Brendan was canceled the other day. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And finally, Campbell and Lewis meet the monsters can start.
Oh,
Elliot's ever ready for you to.
You always shove that in my face. Like, I've got a backup.
They are ready to go.
If you ever get canceled or your heart just
I'm
popped.
pretty sure they, of course, drew a logo. I'm pretty sure they drew a logo of themselves in your place, ready to go, ready to slot in, and we won't miss a beat. There won't be any gap between episodes. No. Yeah.
If I were still alive when that happens, I would be listening to Campbell and Lewis. Come on.
Oh, Elliot's the best. And Elliot's coming on.
Elliot is the best.
I think we've got Elliot in a couple
They won't
weeks.
even hear this probably.
No.
But I am just going to shout out.
They come on the show. I don't think they listen to the show.
No, why
They
would
have way better taste than that.
I think my brother's the only person who listens to this.
I know. We get notes from Robin. On that last one, you guys said the wrong thing. Anyway, let's talk about they take a field trip to a frozen lake. I think I said this about the last movie, and I'll say it here. Maybe this is a thing in colder places. I don't know, because that's just never been a thing that's part of my pond hockey and stuff like that. Just the idea of, hey, here's the thing to do with kids. Let's just take them out to a frozen lake.
I would say if this were Michigan or Minnesota or somewhere clearly in Canada, I could see this. The idea that this is Los Alamos, New Mexico, which again, it does snow, but I just can't see this as being all right. Field trip to go onto a frozen lake.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know that.
But this is the exact same beats where Owen finally stands up to the bullies, whips the kid with the rod thing, and slices his ear really bad. This is the exact same. And the kid's squealing. The bully is squealing, and Owen would have been in even bigger trouble, except for other kids start squealing because they just found the frozen body of the
the guy from the
guy from the tunnel that he had to go clean up after. I did love Jenkins just like going, Jesus God, when he walked off and he's like, I gotta do this thing.
Dude, every choice this guy makes is perfect.
Oh, of course.
He's just talking about just a pro, man. Just absolute
pro.
Oh God, I just looked at his IMDb. He's so fucking good at Nightmare Alley.
Don't even get us started. We can't go down that guy's
I could go forever,
IMDb,
man. It would be very hard for me to actually make a list of my favorite Richard Jenkins performances because there's so many good ones. So that we do see Owen get reprimanded by the assistant principal, which once again we see her face, but it's all through the slots in the door.
It's pretty awesome that the counselor, the school principal or whatever is obscured, but also the mom is kind of just like the side of her head and blurred through the glass.
It's just a subtle thing. Like the movie doesn't call a lot of attention. It just keeps doing it, and you're like, oh, this is weird.
Yep.
And it creates. It does put you into that child perspective of like adults being this other force, which I like quite a bit.
It's trying to just put us in their world, or specifically Owen's world.
Yeah.
And it's a way of just going, try and remember you being a kid. Don't connect with the adults. They are not the important ones here.
Right. It also makes it make sense then that they just abandon them at the end of the movie.
Yep.
So
with a little bit, with about the same amount of regret as in the original.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of like, oh, well, sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm out.
But the movie isn't about them at all. So, like in the original movie, we don't see the parent reaction to that.
Yeah, we don't see
it's not about them.
The mother or father, like the next day, going like, "Where are you? Oh my God! Oh, where is my child?"
It's still only other than the beginning too. We don't really see like Elias Koteas. You don't go back to the precinct with him as he looks over. It's not about him, right? We pretty much only see him through the perspective of the kids. Like right now in the movie when he comes to the door asking questions about, hey, do you know that guy who lives down the hall? Because they've obviously figured out where Richard Jenkins was living.
Yeah.
And they're like, and did he have a girl with him? We're hearing maybe he has a daughter.
Yeah.
And they don't know anything.
No.
We get a similar scene where he takes her to the basement room in the building.
Exactly. It's like, this is where I used to hang out with that guy that you killed, and he was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
But,
and so he goes to cut his thumb so they can, mix
their
blood.
They're like, let's, like being blood brothers.
Yeah.
I have a blood brother, by the way, John.
He's still out there.
When I was a kid, me and my friend Corey, we did that.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't have a blood brother anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's very sad. But yeah, and then she goes nuts and licks it up. I do like, this is where I like the makeup in particular, because I like that when he sees not only she licking up the blood, but looks at him with these monstrous eyes. And it's like,
and then,
fuck, that's not the...
she feels shame, kind of, and just runs away. And he's, of course, horrified, but fascinated. And
this is where she climbs up a tree and is just now obviously like totally feral and attacks the woman outside of the building.
Yeah. The woman who that Owen had spied on.
Yeah.
And instead of the cat lady in the original, this is just a
that's the thing. I think that's one of the big differences between the versions, right? Is Reeves cuts out all the adult story. The adults are purely from the perspective of the kids.
You don't get to know these victims.
Right. Because he just across the board, no adult, because like we have the whole thing of the community. There's more following the father figure, familiar character, listening in on that stuff. Here, the only time we're seeing the adults pretty much is from the perspective of the kids, or when we go with Richard Jenkins to hunt people.
Yeah. So the lady gets torn up and bitten, but is not finished off.
Correct.
So actually,
she does turn her.
She can turn people into vampires.
That's true.
Right, in the original and in this. It's interesting that she doesn't do that with her lovers.
Maybe there's some part of her that's maybe it's she doesn't want to give him the skin of the killer, man.
Oh yeah, this movie is so close to the original, but when they do that full sunlight scene and she sparkles like diamonds, I thought
that was really interesting. And Reeves is like, I didn't want to do it, man, but studio notes.
Yeah, studio notes.
You had to give him something. No, instead what you get is, as you talk about, a way bigger... My God, this woman goes up and takes a nurse with her.
That's the thing, and it was a very effective scene in the original, just because you're seeing it kind of happen as a matter of fact thing, and here she is doing the same thing of sucking her own blood. In the hospital bed.
So creepy when the way that Reeves reveals that too, where it's just like she's laying on the bed and we're outside the room, and then the camera just moves around.
Codius is doing the stuff like talking to the nurse, like at the beginning, sort of a similar thing to the beginning. So this is in the background, and then you cut to the innocent nurse hearing all the slurpy sounds, and then there's this woman chawing on her own arm, and
she goes to open the curtain.
Opens the curtain, the sun comes in, and that lady goes up.
And goes up with a level of combustion that once again engulfs this nurse.
Yeah, the body count again. I felt bad for this nurse.
Yeah. While at the same time, I said that's rad. Because it's great. It's a great effect. The way it's presented, once again, in Reeves' very matter-of-fact way. It's just like, and then the room just explodes, It just happens.
No, it is a geyser. It is a geyser of flame.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone immediately comes running.
Those might be the only times I feel that Reeves is like, no, I can top that. Like, on a couple of those moments is where he's maybe not trying to, like, I can do better, but he is going, like, I can go bigger than that.
Well,
I'll show you a fireball.
And there are a few very cheesy, but I mean, it's what you do in films. There's a few times where we get some exposition through newscasts.
Yeah.
Because pretty much the second this is finished, you have like a newscast of like the patient blah 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 and died in the fire, as did a nurse. And you're like, okay, so all right.
And that would be studied for decades what happened there, right? Like how many scientists and doctors would be like, I'm sorry, what happened?
And then they'll have some nice Dutch man come in and go, Nosferatu.
Oh yeah, that was the sequel they were working on. That actually would be kind of cool. If into this strolled a Van Helsing.
Some sort of expert on vampires. I'm all about it.
Or if Elias Koteas had survived this movie and been like, now it's my mission to hunt these things.
That would be so wrong. I mean, it wouldn't be.
It would be very wrong, but it would probably be what I would have pitched.
Yeah.
Once again,
it's like, they're real. Don't you understand? They're real.
Yeah, I would end up making a sequel where he gets thrown off the force because he believes in vampires.
Oh, you know what you do?
Yeah.
You do Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing where it's just a cameo.
But there you go.
You see him kind of crazed and homeless and running right at the camera going, vampires are real. Da, da, da.
Oh, I fucking love that cameo. It was so good. And
that was so good.
That's one of the best.
That was
one of the
great
best
idea.
One of the best cameos, and also
one of the best remake reboot.
Our remake, I
Sequel.
think, yeah. I think I prefer. I think most people do, don't they? Prefer the Kaufman version.
The what?
The 70s version. I think most people would probably.
Oh no, I love the original.
Well, I love the original too, but I'm just saying the 70s version.
Yeah, it's great, and it doesn't take anything away from the original. So I feel fine loving it as well.
Yeah, it just hits hard, man.
You hate anything in black and white. That is your problem.
I famously do. Yeah, can't stand it.
You actually have the colorized version of, the original Nosferatu.
We had, you know what? As a kid, I did grow up with the colorized version of It's a Wonderful Life because that's what was on tape. That was just the tape we had in the house.
No, that is true. For a long time, that was not
a preference.
Selling version.
That was the thing. That wasn't a preference. That just was there. It's what we had.
I just remember when colorization began, and I remember going like, I guess it's kind of cool, but why?
Yeah, it's like
I remember that the first things were like they did some Laurel and Hardy shorts, and then they did scenes from Casablanca, and then there's like let's go and full do Casablanca, and you're just like stop it.
The
stop
scenes,
right
yeah, that's the thing, and they still to this day they just did a thing recently where they colorized episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show. They did like 4 episodes, and they did it in color, and it was sort of like. It's like you're talking about. Like I remember seeing it and going like, because the technology's gotten better now, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm watching it. I watched a little bit of them and went. I watched a little bit of them and like, that's kind of interesting. And then you're like, yeah, but I don't get it's interesting for a little bit as like an experiment, as like a test where you're just like, oh, I've never seen this in color. How interesting. But then you're like, yeah, but I don't really want to watch this. Like, I don't actually want to watch this. What am I, insane? That's not what it should look like. It wasn't made to be like that. I always go back to that as a film nerd. I'm always just like, it wasn't lit for that. It wasn't designed like that, man.
I'm sure they've done I Love Lucy too. It's like,
I have seen some.
You want to see the red hair?
Yeah, it's so much funnier in color.
Yeah, it's so much funnier. Look, you can see those grapes. They're actually purple.
Oh, that chocolate. It's as brown as I imagined it would be.
It's as brown.
Yeah.
At long last, the thing that was missing.
Yeah. So
anyway,
so that woman goes up. We get the thing of he doesn't invite her in, which is from the original movie, of course, too.
Yep,
because
same
you can't.
Thing. He's like, hey, how do these rules work? Like, if I don't invite you in, because you keep saying you got to be.
It's like, the one thing you have to include because it's one of the coolest and most interesting beats of the original movie is.
And it's also another show of how much she trusts him or wants him to trust her.
Yep.
She's like, she knows that this will cause her great pain, but she's like, you need to know. All right, I understand. So I will show you.
Yeah.
And it's just as good as the original.
Yep.
She walks in, it seems kind of normal. She's kind of hunched, but then blood. This is
where I was like, nice. They didn't like do even more blood or anything like that.
No, they didn't.
They easily could. This is where you easily could have had like blood
and then
shooting out of her.
The kid he's frantic. He's like, oh God, what a mistake. No, you're invited in, please. I don't want you to hurt anymore.
And the way when she goes and takes a shower and puts the dress on, it's cute. In the middle of this movie, number one, he puts on a banger of a song.
Yeah.
He puts on the breakup song.
I think that one thing is it a Blue Oyster Cult song? No, that there is a Blue Oyster Cult song in the movie, but I don't know which one it is.
The one he puts on here?
Yeah.
It's the breakup song by Greg Kihn.
Greg Kihn, yes.
The Greg Kihn band. Yeah. It's a like
yeah.
It's a great song.
They don't write them like that anymore.
That's what he puts on. Yeah.
But I sit there going like, the ultra Christian mom, she has this record, or this isn't his apartment.
This is his apartment.
This is his apartment.
Yeah.
This is a similar question I had to the original. She asks, he has to invite her into his bedroom, which is in that apartment. So why does he have to re-invite her in when she comes to the front door?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
the exact same thing as in the original.
Yeah, it seems to be the rules. That's like room by room.
Okay, but regardless, it is great, and I think that because he's sitting there kind of like snapping his fingers, trying to be like a cool 12-year-old kid. And when she comes out of the shower, before she puts the dress on, she's just in like the towel.
Yeah.
And she has this very sweet, innocent look on her face of kind of like going, hey, this is a pretty cool song.
I also like this is really cute. Specific to I think they cast these kids at the perfect age because I like that she's taller than him, but tall in that awkward way where she has like she's recently gotten height, which is interesting because of course she's hundreds of years old, but like,
and she will always be built that way.
Yes. Which actually is true for Chloe Moretz. If you see her now, she pretty much looks like
well,
this
I
now.
was going to say it. I didn't want to be mean, but it is true that she didn't grow much past this. She's still a tiny little person.
She's still a tiny little person with, and I mean, she's a beautiful woman, of course, but she's also like mostly legs. She's got like a tall person's build, but on a short frame. She's a very,
she's got kind of a short torso and long legs.
Yeah. It's an interesting.
This is not, by the way, body shaming.
No. Once again, she looks great.
I want to make that clear.
No, she's a lovely woman. You can go back into the IP Squad episode and listen to friend of the show Elliot Lewis and I talk about how she's way too hot to play Carrie in the Carrie remake.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Way too hot to play Carrie.
I think that's been true of everyone else that's done it. Because Sissy Spacek, while being
we talked about this
uniquely attractive, really did looked like someone who would be picked on in high school.
Yes, that's the thing. Is Sissy Spacek is beautiful, but
gangly
it doesn't take much to make Sissy Spacek alien or ghostly or I mean,
Yeah.
like that's the thing. It's like she's a beautiful woman, but it is a unique beauty that when you kind of whereas every attempt to do anything to Claire Moretz, you're like
similar to Shelley Duvall, who just recently passed,
much
to
so.
date this,
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Where that's an attractive woman, but not in any conventional way.
Whereas we couldn't figure out why no one would want to take Claire Moretz to the no matter what sack they try to put her in these sack dresses. And you're just like, no, that face is beautiful. That's a beautiful face. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like she has a conventionally beautiful
Meanwhile,
face.
we are aware we're talking about an actress at this point in this movie who's what, 13, 14?
Yeah, I'm talking about her now as an adult.
No,
yeah. Was she in this? She's
But
she's 13
like going, all right, they're asking us to respect that in something like Carrie, but here she is, as you say, frozen in this thing. You do buy that she'll have always looked this way.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing here where she loves puzzles and she has all the old stuff that she's carried with her, like her trophies and things. And it's a combination
and loose cash. That was in like the first movie too. I love there's just loose cash.
And all the because you also have to have the cop find the stash of money and passports.
I will say Elias Cortez, a little overzealous, Mr. Policeman.
Oh, he doesn't need to be invited. He'll just kick that door in.
Yeah, but he has no cause for that. No warrant. Doesn't call for backup. He's fucking asking for it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Had he lived, he'd have an angry police captain yelling at him.
Yeah,
telling him
those are all the scenes we get. This is all the scenes we get cut where you you have like fucking Clarence Williams III as his you idiot! After everything you've done,
I suppose it was a vampire.
Oh, I see how it is. Yeah. You and your vampires. You're off the case. Give me a badge and gun.
By the way, I'm sorry for tangents, and I am getting hungry.
What do you mean? This is Tangents the podcast. Oh.
Tangents the podcast, but I recently rewatched I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which was not anywhere near as funny as I remember.
But still very funny.
The parts I like are still great.
There's some real...
go, how much for one rib?
How much for one rib is hilarious, yeah.
Clarence as like the Black Panther guy is so great. He gets the one scene and he delivers. He is so funny.
We lost him somewhat recently too, and I always thought he was underappreciated.
Underappreciated. And again, a guy who could bring whatever you needed, including comedy. He was so good.
Those are the guys I like the most, always, the character. So she, I just want to, so when then the mom comes home and they both rush out and she goes around to her apartment. And once again, I think the cutest moment is them looking at each other out their own windows and just giggling about how they, and you're like, that just lets them be.
Exactly same beat from the original. But it's still effective.
Well,
they do the same thing.
I think we can both agree.
She zips back to her apartment.
Whatever preference, we both agree with Ebert. What worked and that does work here.
What worked here. Yeah. What worked
and
here.
And that's kind of what Reeves said, right? He goes, "Why would I fuck around and start changing stuff if it worked in places?" So yeah.
So if you saw the original movie, you know how it wraps up. This was good.
Yeah, I mean it's the same beats, but now it's the cop who comes, as we talk about. I don't know quite what he knocks on the door of her place. She's in the Owen has come over. She says, "I'm in the bathroom, but I really like you. Don't come in here though, please." She's under blankets in the bathtub instead of a coffin. She's doing that.
That's her daylight thing, is to hide in the bathtub with blankets and stuff. Plus, they also have the thing of Elias Koteas notices when he rolls up that that apartment has all the cardboard and stuff glued over or taped over the windows,
and that for some reason thinks that gives him probable cause to pull his gun and kick this door open.
Yeah,
and then he goes in there and he finds Moretz in the bathtub, and he starts to peel open the cardboard, and Owen's like, "No, don't do that." And
that's when Owen's like, "Oh, stop it!"
And that's when
which gives her just enough time to spider monkey on the guy. And just go to town. Yeah. And just like in the original,
he just kind of backs away, right?
He backs away and closes the door. Like I'll let her finish what she needs to do.
Yeah.
It's him being complicit in, I will let her kill this person.
The only difference between this and the original one is in the original one, he pulled a knife on the guy who did this. There was a moment here. He never debates any violence, because I don't think he would against a policeman who has a firearm, which is a totally different scenario, of course. Yeah. He's just like, please don't do that.
You've been in that situation. You know what that's like.
I'm always getting guns pointed at me, man. I'm tired of it. My fucking life.
I got to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah, again, that whenever a cop pulls a gun on me, I go, oh, this shit again.
Which is kind of a real John quote.
Yeah.
This shit again.
This shit again. Same shit, different day, man. You know what I mean?
Hardened. You're hardened.
I'm just a hardened fella.
That's how I describe you to friends.
Yeah.
What's John like? I'm like, no, he's very hard.
He's pretty hardened. Yeah, he does a Monsters podcast, so you know what kind of guy he is.
He's been through the shit.
Oh, I've seen the shit, man. Like most people who do monster movie podcasts, I'm pretty hardened, you know.
Yeah.
He's
been through the
shit. She kills him. This is where they kiss, which she's covered in blood, and it's like, I have to leave now. And she kisses him. He watches her get in the cab to go away. I like the little touch of, and I don't know if this was in the original. Once again, because I do watch this one, I've seen this one more, and I just recently, I do realize how much I've conflated things between them. They are similar, but like where I'm like, that was in both movies, right? And you're like, no, that's only in this one or that one.
It can be kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Because there are so many similarities.
Where she goes, but she leaves, and we see Elias Coute's body in the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, we had seen that this is down in their little the rumpus room or whatever where he's just shoved into the wall. That's not in the original.
No, I like that.
It's pretty badass. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a little just like ooh.
Yep.
It's just a little shiver in the movie, you know. It's like right.
She is literally, she's got to take care of herself. And so she's like, just gonna ditch the body.
I stand by though. He was fucking asking for it. He was asking for not necessarily to get eaten by a vampire, but just kicking indoors with your gun out without calling for backup or anything. Anything could have fucking happened to you, man.
He's not shown as being like a cartoonishly. Thank God he got it.
Yeah.
And in the original, like, it's the grieving husband of the guy of the woman.
But here I was more just like, what would you expect to happen? I mean, obviously not a vampire, but like. Somebody could have shot him. I mean, my God, you don't do that.
It's justified.
He's not a good cop, is what I'm saying.
But he's not an evil bad.
No. So okay, now we get to the final sequence of the movie, which is Owen is doing his training in the pool. The bully set fire outside.
I mean, as far as he knows, she has left.
Yep.
So
he's sad about it, but he's moving on.
Yeah, and he's got to protect himself still. So he is still getting his strength training. I love the fact that we have. I guess. There are a lot of Russian immigrants.
So this guy, I went, when this guy came on screen, I go, that's so cool. Reeves used this guy in the Batman. He didn't. This guy's in Dark Knight. He's in a different Batman movie, I realized.
Oh,
he's one of the mob bosses in Dark Knight. You know, when the Joker puts this guy's in a lot. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's also in some Michael Mann movies and stuff like that. I mean, let's be honest. He plays a lot of. Yeah, this is an interesting use of him because I'm used to him playing. I'm used to him playing like a Russian gangster. You know, so obviously, but yeah,
or a coach.
He's really good
in this case, just like in the original. The boys are distracting him by they set his car on fire or something.
It's like a big fire in a dumpster here. I don't remember.
A big fire in a dumpster. Like, hey, coach, you should go out there. He's like, okay, well, do you stay here, Owen, get strong or whatever. I'm going to check this out.
And these kids are such known psychos that when they say everyone out of the pool, everyone's like, oh shit, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So basically, and they do the same thing. Like, hey, man,
I think
we're here to fuck you up.
I think added for this one though, because I think once again, just. I don't think in the original one he gets to the locker room and gets pulled back.
No, that's true. I don't think he ever got.
That's
they
Reeves.
Basically just lean down and look at him and say, "You have to stay under."
Yeah, because I think that's once again Reeves once again just kind of up in the action just a little bit, you know. Because I do like that is pretty horrifying the way he books with everybody else and he gets to his locker and he's trying to open it and they grab him and them sliding him across the tile floor of the thing. Yeah. You know, and putting him back in the water, and then it's the same threat. You're gonna stay underwater
you have to stay underwater for this long, which you can't physically.
3 minutes,
yeah. But if you
not without serious training,
unless you're Tom Cruise.
Tom did it for 6. Just want that on the record. Tom did it for 6 for Mission Impossible 5. Yeah, He did 14
and
minutes. He actually has just
like,
been underwater for the last 3 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But
He lives
anytime
under there
he
now.
comes up, they're gonna take a part of him.
Take his eye out is what they said.
Oh right.
What I like is he gets cut either way. They say if you do this, we'll just cut you a little bit. If you come up before that,
That's it.
I'm going to
Yes,
cut your
you lose
eye
a
out.
piece.
And then the guy says, to further just prove that this guy, I'm sorry, this is actually the first time that Matt Reeves puts the Joker on film. When he says, an eye for an ear seems fair. And you're like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And also, the kid still has his ear. Just got cut. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fucking psycho. And this is where even the main bully who's been the psycho is like, Jesus, man, maybe we don't want to fucking kill anyone. This is pretty far.
Because there's only one way this is going to go.
Yeah. It does sort of feel like they've gone far enough that now they kind of have to murder him, right?
They shove him in the water, and when you know it, and he's struggling.
Yep.
But
I had a general idea of what might happen here.
Yeah, generally, it gets a little easier when suddenly the hand that's keeping him under is free floating.
Yeah.
And there's some blood, and we're hearing some muffled screams.
And then this is Reeves' other example of I will see that and raise you a severed head.
A severed head of the bully kid floats by, and Owen pulls himself out. But we also see a similar thing of like one of the kids being pulled from the
feet
air.
of the water. One thing I can't remember, I don't think this is the case in the original movie. Owen gets out of the pool as the massacre's still going on, but we still don't see it. You just hear the kids fucking screaming though. It's because the camera just stays on him.
I mean, obviously he has to get out of the.
But I think everybody was dead. I can't remember. Once again, I can't remember fully. So that I may be wrong.
But the camera stays on him.
Yeah, it still doesn't show it. But I think we hear. And here also, no one is spared. You get the one kid who
kid who was the wimpiest of the bullies.
We don't fuck around here in America, man. Everybody gets it here.
They all get it.
And you do get that one shot. Here he goes a little further. I think just because he has the money, right? You have the thing where he looks up and you see the hole in the skylight.
Yeah.
And then they also do the pull-out wide shot of just you've got one kid's body hanging over the diving board.
Dude. Yeah.
And just the blood in the pool
brutal.
And body pieces.
And there's a lot of blood in the water.
Yeah. But that his reaction, holy, not only does the camera stay on Owen never looks at the carnage. He's just locked onto her.
Yep.
And loves her for protecting him or whatever.
Yep.
Saving him. Is it completely ignoring the horror and is just focused on you came back for me? It's beautiful.
That is just like in the original.
Yeah.
Both really sweet and very disturbing.
That's the thing that I'm the tone of both of these movies and the novel. There's this idea of that you as an audience member should be unsure what you should be feeling is so great.
You're kind of cheering them on and then realizing, well, she is a monster who kills a lot of innocent people. Again, this isn't like one of those movies where you kind of cheer for Jason because he's killing asshole teens or something.
Yeah. This
is like, oh, no.
Because even like these kids are mostly like, well, they were bad bully kids, but I'm not sure they needed to be decapitated for it.
I'm not sure it had to go this hard.
Yeah. She knows no other way, though, man. She just goes all the way. And then, then we go to, we dissolve from this to him on the train with her and the...
And one thing we skipped over, but I mean, it's not a huge thing, but just like in the original, they had developed their
Morse code. Yeah, he had written it out for her and stuff like that.
So just like the original, they're on a train. She's in the
trunk.
And they're on the lam.
Did you read in the IMDb what they're Morse coding to each other?
No, what was it?
She tapped hey, and he tapped XOXO.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And disturbing.
Yeah, he'll be with her for... Oh, wait, in the books, she does turn him, right? You told me that. I think you did last time.
Yeah. We did talk about that they did a sequel.
In the books.
In the books, yeah, they did he wrote a short story.
Right.
Yeah.
And that catches up with them and they're still together.
Oh, true love wins.
It does. Love wins. So to wrap up,
yeah,
I like it.
I like it. I
got no problems with the movie except for it just doesn't need to be there. That's the only thing.
I don't know. I mean, this of course.
I know you prefer it.
I prefer it, but also just in general, regardless of what you prefer, this certainly will be the version people see. I think this is the more readily available, or at least
probably more readily available.
Readily available, and just
whether
what people will see. I think a lot. I think
should be the case. I don't know.
I don't really feel like there's a cosmic justice to any of this, but about whether or not it should be. I think you should.
Here's another reason I like the original so much.
Yeah.
This is minor because literally this young actor I don't know. I mean, I have seen him in other things and didn't realize
Cody Smith-McPhee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's great. But one of the reasons that the original works so well for me is I've never seen those kids before, and I haven't seen them after.
Sure.
So to me, they're the originals, and they're indelible.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz, even at this point in her career, well, maybe not to the extent, but me watching this now, she is an established actor. It's like if they had called it. So in other words, she's not anonymous. And in a weird way, this would benefit from an unknown. That said, she's not Nicole Kidman coming in and playing.
But she's great. She's great in this, though.
She's absolutely great.
So I mean, I don't know that, like, when you talk about it would benefit you, not necessarily it's an interesting thing, right? Because I mean,
this is all subjective. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because obviously, like, it's sort of like we can't have a world where people are just making one movie and then disappearing.
Right. No. And I did, after rewatching the original, check on how they're doing.
How are those kids doing?
Yeah, and both of them are doing fine, and did the whole like university thing.
Yeah.
And I think the actress is considering, because she's only now in maybe early 30s or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even think Moretz is even 30 at this point. You know,
okay, so she may be even younger, but essentially she's like, I think about maybe doing a little bit more acting. She's done some stage stuff, but at the same time,
we talked about this, I think, on that last one, and it's an unfortunate thing about foreign films is even as many as I see, which is not like a ton, but is some. You see the big ones that come, right? So it's like, even if those kids had done a bunch of other movies in Sweden,
that's kind of why I checked on them. I was curious, like,
it's possible that they've had long-running careers. They haven't, but I'm saying it's possible that they had, and I just wouldn't know, because if I see one Swedish movie a year, that's unusual. It's just the nature of it. It just we kind of only.
You also famously hate the Swedes.
Well, and they know what they did. So that's Let Me In. We do recommend it, of course, right?
I do. Yeah. Absolutely.
I say watch both. And then have this same conversation. No, I don't. I slightly prefer this one. But that doesn't take anything away from the original. I don't like this world that the internet discussion gets into, where it's like, it's this or it's this. Pick a side, and one's got to die. You know, I don't. I hate that stuff. Where it's like, but do you like it more than this?
Now, if this was garbage, I mean, I would still be going like, why the fuck would they even bother?
Yeah. Well, I think that would be
just good.
That would be a different conversation, of course, if we had had one where. And I do think
ripped this one a new.
I think 9 times out of 10 different filmmakers, that would be the case. It would be far inferior. I think that was what we all thought was going to happen. That's what we always think is going to happen. It's pretty rare that when you remake, because this happens a lot. In fact, it's a season we've talked about doing on IP Squad is foreign films and their American remakes, because it's a whole thing, right?
So you'd watch La Cage aux Folles and then The Birdcage,
right? Yeah, do both as one episode, because that is something future seasons of IP Squad will have. Is one episode will be 2 movies and comparing them or whatever, remakes and stuff like that. So yeah, that is. But that's I do love The Birdcage.
And you'll get I mean, they're both very funny. And weirdly, the American, in my case, I like more, just because I think there's a lot of cultural humor in the original.
That's the thing. Comedy is a totally different matter. So that is a thing where.
And I'm sorry, you also have Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. It's just
and also one of my very favorite Gene Hackman performances. I think Gene Hackman is so
great
good in The Birdcage.
And one of my favorite Hank Azaria.
I mean, just one of the funniest performances ever. in that movie.
So
watch The Birdcage.
Guys.
I'm sorry. Watch Let Me In.
And watch that as well.
Watch Let Me In, and watch all the films of Matt Reeves, who I do think is one of the best filmmakers working today, especially in studio genre fare. He really stands out from the pack when people talk about these guys who are taking
I'm joking. No,
franchise movies. He's
aces.
a guy.
Aces.
He's a guy, and I think that was why he was perfect for this. Was he's a guy who's really making character dramas in genres as opposed to making genre first. Next week, I'm sure we're watching a movie that we'll absolutely think needs to exist. I have no doubt we'll be loving it. Everyone knows I'm joking automatically here because it's time for us to head back to Santa Carla, California.
No.
Yes, and meet up with those Lost Boys. This time it's Lost Boys, The Thirst. The Feldmeister's back, my friend.
I will say this about the Feldmeister. Nothing warmed my heart more than seeing a recent photo of the entire Goonies cast.
Yeah.
Recreating their pose of looking at the map.
Yeah. And that he's not dead.
That he's not dead.
Yeah.
And they all seem to, or at least in this photo.
Yeah.
It's like, yay, look at those guys.
Yeah. Because he should be dead by all logic.
He probably should.
And we'll see. This time we do get the other Frog Brother back, though, in this one. We get both Frog
thank
Brothers.
God.
Yeah. I have no... I've never seen this.
Did they indicate that he had been turned?
He said something about... No, remember he lost his brother? I thought it was the thing, though, that it was... Then it ended up being Haim that had turned, though.
Yeah.
That was the thing, I think, was you think he's talking about his brother, but he's talking about Haim. I think.
They did Sam
you know what I love is just how fucking memorable that movie was. That second one, really, what a classic.
Santa Carla, aka Vancouver.
AKA Vancouver, and I have a feeling.
Well, we'll see.
I have a feeling this one.
No
I think
hopes for this at all.
No, because I believe
Thank
the word
you, John,
we've heard.
For forcing this
I believe the word we've heard is it gets worse. I believe the second one is considered better. So, yikes!
All right, we'll see.
Yikes. Yep. All right. Well, that'll be next week on the show. People who enjoy us watching bad movies, stay tuned for next week because that's gonna happen. I have a feeling.
Sax Man is back.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, he's third billed now, and the Sax Man as himself. Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it though for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
I'm sorry, I lost my key.